Hello, everybody, and welcome to the post-credit show.
Welcome. June 1st.
June 1st. We're talking about games we played, movies we've watched, and other sort of nerd junk we've done. I'm Nick.
I'm Tony.
I'm Brian.
Hello. I'm pulling my list up.
Now I'm tired.
I got a list. Sounds good. I got a list.
That was a lot of talking right there. I'm just gonna.
We're just gonna talk.
Just gonna
We're
rest.
just gonna talk. Okay.
Um,
It's actually the Sleepcast right now.
Yeah.
We're playing. We're alpha testers for Pokemon Sleep.
Exactly.
I've been practicing my whole life for this.
I've been training for a long time. The older I get, the better I'm getting at that game. I can
start.
Sure, go for it.
So, in terms of movies and films that I've watched, Shazam,
Excellent.
super good movie.
It's a fun movie.
Super fun. We had a good time watching that movie.
Yeah.
It was just like we were laughing, we were crying, laughing, and I'm just like, this is great. This is real dumb.
Yeah.
The bodysuit looks. I think it looks. It's so tacky that it
looks
works.
good. Yeah.
It's so tacky that it works.
Well, because he's supposed to be the perfect version of himself. So, like the Adonis version of,
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm super okay with that.
Yeah.
Because it looks so cheesy that it's perfect.
Yeah.
The villain was a villain.
The villain's a villain.
Villain's a villain. It's
Until we get The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson, yeah. Until Black Adam.
To Black Adam, as Black Adam.
Black
That'll
Adam.
be fun.
That'll be good. I'm glad Black Adam wasn't in this movie. It would have been a little too much.
I feel like we got the tease when it was like we gave someone powers before.
Yeah.
And like there's 7 seats and only 6 of them or what. So there's that empty seat.
Yeah.
So you know who it belongs to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's, Shazam's fun. Zachary Levi crushes that role so
Well, because
hard.
he's having fun.
Yeah. It's fun. It's funny when that happens. When your actors have fun, you have a good film.
Yeah. Aquaman almost feels the same way.
I'm going backwards here, so that's.
I did the same thing. I went back.
So I will eventually catch Aquaman at some point in time. But yeah, we just had a good time in that movie. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, some research had to be done because we didn't know who the caterpillar
piece was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit I don't know a lot about Shazam's backstory.
I don't.
No.
So obviously it's setting up some sort of like interdimensional battle thing or whatever, right? So probably we'll see that in Black Adam, most likely.
Yeah.
Where it's like at the end it's like, we're trying to beat blah blah blah. Black Adam, come join us or whatever. I don't know.
This one ties in nicely to the DCEU with a nice little...
Get him, Batman!
Yeah.
Get him, Batman! And then, of course, the Superman piece at the end.
Superman piece,
Which was great. Like, it left just enough where it was like, that is funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
That is so good.
That would be how that... what was his brother's name again? I can't remember. Yeah. That would be how he would react in that scenario.
Oh, for sure.
He's like,
Yeah. I thought that was a perfect way of tying it all in, though.
Yeah.
And I think Chris had asked at that point. He's like, "Well, how did he find Superman?" Because it wasn't that long after, stuff went down. And I'm like, in my headcanon, Soups goes, there are superpowered people who clearly made the news.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly over there just to like double check on things.
I feel like it could be even the other way around, where Billy obviously knows Superman exists, and he knows now he can fly.
Yes.
So
I feel like he didn't go looking for him. I honestly felt like it was Superman going, there are superpowered people that could be a threat. I'm going to fly in and just see what's up. And then he meets Shazam, and of course he's like, oh my god, you're Superman, this is the coolest thing ever. And Superman's like, you are not a threat.
In my mind, in my mind, I think Batman would be the one doing that, not Superman. Because Batman at the end of Justice League was like, we're gonna have more people at this table. At the end of Batman, at the end of Justice League, Superman didn't really have that motivation. Batman does.
I can see that piece, but in my mind, it's the fastest for Soups to whoosh and then just.
Maybe Batman sent him.
Perhaps we don't know.
Either way, I feel like that's how if it's like, oh my god, you're Superman, this is the coolest thing ever.
Justice League is calling or whatever, right?
Like, oh my god, this is so cool. Oh my god, can you come to lunch with me for like this thing? It would be so cool. And Superman's just like, yes,
sure.
Like, you're the most confusing superhero yet. Like, the Flash is a little quirky. You're very off.
I met a 90% robot man.
Yeah,
and you're still
you're still the biggest weirdo. Because I think Mark Bernardin had said it, and it was his biggest flaw with the movie was them not solving problems like kids would solve them.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they did.
I feel like they did it parts
the part where they were testing out all the powers,
Yes.
like him playing hooky.
That
Yeah.
part totally.
Like that was
But,
totally
like,
like a kid thing to
the
do.
more
It's
climaxy type end parts
like, okay, yeah.
were just our regular superhero fare with,
But I think
strong guy punching
It
strong
is.
guy.
It is. But
Not a big complaint.
No.
Just more of a like.
I don't see that because it's like I'm a hold this up.
Yeah.
Oh God, I am holding
Hold
this
this
up.
up.
I am holding this up.
Yeah.
It's like I got that.
I did
I
for
got-
the most
I
part.
felt-
I think his biggest thing was,
Him lighting the box on fire. So
Yeah.
funny. I was like, oh my God.
I think his biggest thing was like the climax. Instead of just having like the two big guys punching each other at the end, have him all of a sudden be like, oh, like if I did this, which would be more of a like kid thinking as opposed to superhero punch thingy. That was his big piece. I'm like, okay, I can see that.
But
I'm not mad.
But I think though, as a kid,
Yeah.
you think that okay,
I've got superpowers.
I'm gonna punch things.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
punch things. Yeah.
I'm gonna punch
Yep.
things, or I'm gonna run real fast, or I'm gonna fly.
Yeah.
Like you're.
I'm gonna do what I read in comic books.
Yeah, like even the one brother, he's like,
Yes.
you're kind of like my first like villain, so this is kind of a big deal for me.
Yeah. Oh, I know the
Like
brother
that.
as soon as he gets powers. Is,
Yeah.
He hams it up perfectly. I'm like,
Well,
that's
and-
exactly he does exactly what he would do in that scenario.
Adrian Brody, I think.
Yeah,
Is
they had a really good cast for the older version, or like the
Yeah, that's-
Shazammed versions of this
That was
kid.
very surprising to me. I was like, I knew that was part of his backstory, but I wasn't expecting it like that.
Yeah.
So soon.
But yeah, his
So
brother
sudden.
all of a sudden not being, crippled anymore. and
Yeah.
all of a sudden getting
That makes
powers.
sense to give him
And
fun.
being that actor is like, oh, smokes, like, you're an actual person. Like, you're an actor. Like, everybody else,
Yeah.
not so much. But you're an actual person that they managed to get for
There's 5 seconds. Of
this
movie.
much of the role. And I thought the littlest sister was hilarious when
Yeah.
she became.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden she was still. I felt she was very much still her. Like, she runs by Santa Claus and, like,
I've been so good.
I've been so good this year.
Yeah.
And, like, Santa Claus.
I feel like the
was
Santa
clearly
Claus
like
bit was a little much. Like
Yeah.
I thought that was a little too played out, whereas he was just like, "Oh, Santa Claus will save us." Nope, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's crying away and running away. I thought that those pieces were a little like played out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like they could have cut him out, and I
It
still
was a little
like,
forced.
yes,
That
that's
like
what
it
I'm
was.
trying to think. Yes, it was the Santa Claus pieces were a little bit forced, and like
Yeah.
I don't need to see Santa Claus like that.
No.
Not that it's not funny.
Yep.
But it was not needed in this movie in that
Yeah.
aspect. They could have been cut out, and I would have been okay.
And by
Yeah.
the end of it, they all seem to have powers. Like, the first one to activate seemed to be like they all seem to have an inherent power.
Yeah.
But they all have all of, because by the end they were all flying because they
Yeah.
all landed
Yes,
on
they did.
top of the
Yeah.
things. So
And that's part of the Shazam lore.
Yeah.
So, so watch Shazam.
yeah.
Super fun. I watched Get Out.
Oh yes.
Nice.
Man, that movie fucked up.
I know.
Man, that movie fucked up.
It's so like.
Don't have to watch it.
Like
on
don't
Netflix?
don't
I
try,
have it.
don't
Oh,
trust
yeah.
me. Like
It's also
we all talk about it, it's about black people and slavery and stuff like that, but there's way more to that movie.
Yeah, it's
There's
so
way
disturbing.
more. Like the last I want to say 45 minutes is where that movie is just like, oh, that's where this movie is going. What the hell?
Yeah. It was like, oh.
It's a mind trip of a movie, and so I had a good time watching it. Like,
It was very well done.
It was super, not creepy, but like very unsettling.
Yeah, like
And then the entire movie was super unsettling because it's like, what is this?
Get
What-
out. Sandwich.
Like
it's
like
also on Netflix.
it's on Netflix.
I don't-
That's where I filmed.
But it's
it.
also on Netflix.
That's where
I
I,
own
that's,
it.
that's
I
where
don't need to watch it on
That's where I viewed it.
I also want to see Us then because of
my
that.
my colleague was telling me she really liked Get Out, but she watched Us and she walked out on the film. She did not
Unhappy
like-
or
she
too
did not-
over disturbed?
She just didn't like it.
Oh.
So I don't know. I've heard stuff about Us. I heard that it is another one of his like creepy messed up
Creepy,
movies,
yeah.
which I'm totally fine with because obviously Get Out is very well for him. He obviously is doing Twilight Zone as well, so that's working out really well for him as
Yeah.
well.
I can't wait
But
for that.
I do want to see Us. Like
I
want
want to see it.
So it is on my list. Great movie. I love the main actor that they got for him that role. He was in an episode of Black Mirror,
Yep.
and as the
He's also
$1 Million
in
Man.
Black Panther.
What was he in Black Panther?
He's the
Oh no, I know who
He's
exactly.
the cape
Yeah,
guy.
the
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah. He is in
Yeah.
Black Panther. Yeah, he's yes. I know exactly the role. I can't remember the
The guy
character's
who kind of
name.
betrayed him.
Yes, I can't remember the character name.
Oh, the one who's supposed to be with what's her
Okoye.
nugget? Okoye is
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fiance or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. That's like I'm glad that he's getting more and
He's,
more.
he's a good
'Cause
actor.
I saw him. First time I saw him was in Black Mirror, and I was like, "Whoa, this guy's gonna go far."
Yeah.
Like
That was a disturbing episode.
of what?
Of Black Mirror, the one that he was in.
Not really, because that is very, very level of Black Mirror. That is very
to me, Black Mirror is just disturbing.
It is quintessential Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Which I'm so excited for.
Next season.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week. It's a new season of Black Mirror. 3 episodes. Anthony Mackie,
Miley
Cyrus, and the guy who does Moriarty in Sherlock.
Yes.
In 3 separate episodes. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but man, I'm excited.
I like him.
I'm excited. This is a stealth release.
Well, and
it came out of these 3 episodes are coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because everyone was all like, Bandersnatch this and Bandersnatch Bandersnatch was cool, and then these are coming out. And I'm just like,
coming out.
what? It's not.
and big name people.
Yeah. Big name people.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not December yet. It's not time. It's not my annual get depressed.
Because I'm like, Miley Cyrus is in a what? So I watched the trailer for that one, and
I think a part of it has
to
do with her being a pop star, but in her own mind. So it works really, really well because
she's a pop star.
Yes. So, I think it has something to do with like gaining attention and fame on the internet or something like that. I don't know. But of course, it's Black Mirror. You add the internet, and it's going to be messed up.
Yeah, there's something about a little robot that she's talking through, sort of thing, or whatever that one is. Because there's the line right at the end of the trailer, almost close to the end of the trailer, where they like plug her in to charge her, but it's up her like it's on her behind, and shit's like, get that thing out of my ass.
Yeah, it's
like she starts freaking out horribly, and you're like, oh dear.
It's very Black Mirror.
Yeah.
I expect no less.
Yep.
Watch that. 2 Andy Samberg things I've watched.
Excellent.
I've finished on Netflix the season 6 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Already? It just came out.
Shut up.
I gotta start that.
Shut up. It helped that I had a 5-episode head start because I actually watched.
Oh, because you watched.
I didn't watch them.
I haven't yet.
So you only had 11 episodes to watch.
So yeah, I did. I had my work cut out for me yesterday. So yeah, I watched all of season 6. I greatly appreciated most of that season. Mm-hmm. I felt that a lot of the episodes ended up being pandery, like the obviously the Me Too episode. Mm-hmm. That one felt a little forced.
See, and I like that.
And I totally get. I'm not saying it is bad,
yep.
but it's just not Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They handle it in the Brooklyn Nine-Nine way, but it's like when I watch an episode of Nine-Nine, I feel I don't want to turn my brain off, but I need to like have a good time.
Have a good time.
And I didn't feel like I had a lot of good times with some of those episodes. Like the one episode where they're talking about having kids. Mm-hmm. Like there's a serious scene in that. There's something serious happening, but I want to just have a good time.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a great time. Not saying season 6 was bad. Like the last 2 or 3 episodes were just like I was like, holy crap! That's where the series is going now. The finale was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but the finales were but like the
last 2 episodes.
2 or 3. I think the third episode kind of like they set up the last.
They set up, but the actual last on TV
finales.
It was a 1 hour finale.
Oh, it was 1 hour, so they back to backed it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm glad that you mentioned that to me because I was telling my wife about that. We were watching, and I'm like, they're bringing these characters in. She's like, and she remembers, she recognizes them. She doesn't know who they are, but she recognizes like, oh, that's that character, and oh, that's a character. And I was like, I would not have waited a week to watch this.
We didn't. It was the same night.
Good, because I would have killed something if it ended on that one episode and I had to wait a week.
That was the same night.
Good. I liked the countdown one with the lasagna.
The lasagna one was good. The 24-hour episode.
It was a lot of fun because I'm just trying to keep track of like 10 minutes, but the 7 minutes for this thing, but then the overall timer is this.
I'm glad Gina's gone.
Yeah, Gina episode was bad.
The when she came back for the episode. Yeah.
That was very bad. That was her at her lowest. If I'm be honest, like it was. I already don't like the profession that she's in. so that doesn't help. But the fact that it's her doing that just ramps it way up. And on top of that, they don't really paint her in a very positive light either.
No, they did not. But Gina's never.
She is. She has a good heart in the earlier episodes, but this episode does not, like, the direction that they're taking this character. Obviously, they're not gonna have to commit to her that much anymore, but I don't like where she is. I don't like it as an actress. I'm sure she's a wonderful person.
She's married to the guy that does the Get Out movies.
I got another survey just now. I'm sure she's a perfectly fine person.
Yeah.
But the role that she has herself in, the stereotype of Gina.
Yeah.
Like, that character, I just don't like.
That's the Chelsea Peretti character, though.
But I don't like that.
Like, her stage, if you watch her comedy acts, that's her.
That's her.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
But you're not really supposed to like Gina. Gina's supposed to be that person that watches people and understands what's going on and then plays everybody.
Yeah.
That's Gina.
Yeah.
And it's always been Gina. It's just when you get a whole episode of Gina,
Yeah.
it really comes to the forefront of how much of a horrible person she is.
Yes.
So, yes. I am happy this season that we've gotten more Scully and Hitchcock, though.
So much better. And I'm trying to think of that. I guess I can't talk about it because it's a bit of a spoiler. But there's a scene where it happens, and I'm just like, oh man, if that character exists, then that means he exists in the 80s as that. And I'm just like, what? There's so much more they can do with this.
Yeah, Scully and Hitchcock were.
Scully and Hitchcock was, again, the premise of the lasagna episode, which is great.
Well, and it's funny with the lasagna episode because the basic premise is it starts off with them cooking a lasagna in the microwave for 23 and a half minutes.
It's very specifically 23. Or is it 21 or something? I don't know.
Whatever it is.
Very specific.
You don't cook a Mama Leota's for, like,
20 minutes.
Just what
Just
it says
20,
on the box.
yeah.
You specifically have to cook it for this long.
It happens to be.
And then that's the length of the episode. So that's what gets the episode started. And partway through, they're somewhere else and something's happening. And Jake acts... No, they call Jake to check on something.
Right.
And he tells them something, like he gives them the news, and they're like, okay, thanks. And Scully sits there and he's like, love you, Jakey. And like they hang up the phone, and I'm just like, I know we're supposed to look at Scully and Hitchcock as like the weird, creepy guys.
Old guys.
Like in that way.
There's
but
more.
every once in a while you get that moment from them where they're just so lovable, you're like,
Oh.
especially Scully, because he's just like that big lovable oaf.
Yeah.
And then that piece where it's just like, love you, Jakey, thank you, like,
How do you feel about the character development for Rosa? Like, I thought
Rosa.
Like, I thought her, especially in the last arcs, like, she was really good.
Yep.
Like, I loved her hand thing. The hand thing was hilarious.
They all got to direct episodes this season for the most part.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Yeah.
It's not their best season. Is what I'm trying to get at. Like, it's still good. I don't think it's their best season.
I watched them all so much I can't.
I know it's hard.
Season.
It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, like I watched it because it was a fun time.
Yep.
Good. Probably, I will say probably one of their better cliffhangers.
Yeah, this one's a good.
For like the end of season cliffhanger, it's just like it's not all gloom and doom, but it's just dumb and funny.
Yep.
It's just dumb and funny. It's just like, oh, now they have to deal with that going into season 7.
They're only getting 13. They're getting the half season order again, so we're not going to get a Halloween heist again next year.
Boo.
So
Watch that. The other Andy Samberg thing that I watched,
Uh-huh.
The Lonely Island Presents the Bash Brothers experience
I saw that
on Netflix. It is literally half an hour of the Lonely Island crew, which is Andy Samberg again. I wrote his name now because I forgot it. Akiva Schaffer.
Yep.
Those two just doing dumb music songs together.
Excellent.
So the backstory behind that is these two brothers, the Bash Brothers. They're not, and the crazy part is they're not actually brothers.
Yep.
There's these baseball, like, what do you call them? Wonderkins, I guess. They work really, really good together.
Okay.
Or whatever. For whatever reason, they're not in baseball anymore. But secretly behind everything, like behind all the cameras, they made a rap album. So it's basically just songs about... It's the Lonely Island version of like, oh, we're just gonna talk. We're gonna rap a song about making love to the ladies, wearing robes and kimonos. And I'm just like, what? All right, this is half an hour of this is probably more, just enough of I can take of this.
That's pretty much the pop star movie.
Yes, it's basically the pop star movie was a little dragged on.
I like pop star.
It was fun. It was dumb. And yeah, like my wife was, I think she was just playing like The Sims or something, and I was watching this and I was like, yeah, this is dumb. She's like, but I know him.
Yeah, you do.
Because she doesn't do name association, she does facial association.
Yeah.
So she's like, isn't that yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is how he got famous.
This is his, yeah. Like I just had sex. I'm on a boat.
Say all the SNL digital shorts that they did.
Anything with on Dick in a Box. She's like, yeah, that's him.
That's him.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh.
He's won Emmys for that stuff.
Yeah. Like, and so there he has a Netflix original experience.
Yes.
A Netflix original show. Again, half an hour is probably a good amount to deal with Little Lonely Island stuff back to back to back, song after song after song. But it is crazy.
They've got a lot going on with Netflix right now because they've got the Bash Brothers experience, and on top of that, what was the other show that he was producing and he was in it for slightly?
Yeah. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
That other comedy one that I can't, for whatever reason, think of right now. It wasn't that great, but it was funny. Like, parts of it were funny. It'll come to me if I ever find it on YouTube. It's already been kicked off of Netflix.
Apparently. The other thing I watched was it was just an old movie. It's Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh yeah.
So good.
It's a good movie.
Like,
I
I was surprisingly, I was impressed with that movie. I remember watching that movie in theaters, and literally like the last 20 minutes of the cliffhanger scene, the action scene, I was literally like holding my breath. I remember like that was a good movie. Everyone should watch Mission Impossible.
It's a really
Fallout.
good Mission Impossible
Like
movie.
surprisingly very good. So everyone go watch that. Excellent film. Video games wise, I picked up Final Fantasy X on the Nintendo Switch.
Excellent.
That is an excellent game. It actually ages very, very well.
Very, very well.
Very well, especially on the Switch version. It's because you can just play it on the go.
I was going to say the Go part helps.
The go part helps. But have you guys played Final Fantasy X?
No.
So the battle system is a turn-based battle system, but it's not an ATB system. So it's not like you wait for the meter to fill.
Okay.
It's literally like a battle order.
Oh, okay.
Which lends itself very well on a portable system because you can just pick up and then put it away in the middle of a battle, which makes it's very easy to, or like if you're doing something and you're on the go, you can just kind of put it down for a hot second and then go back to it.
Yeah.
So the battle system is like turn based.
Okay.
So you have an infinite amount of time to do whatever you want for your turn, as well as on the Switch version. I suspect this was on the PlayStation 4 version as well with the touchpad. You can actually swipe right on the screen, and you can quick heal your party members without going into all of the healing menus.
Oh, cool.
So it'll say like heal with all potions, and so the game will use all the potions to heal all your characters, or use spells. So you can use all the cure spells, and it'll subtract the appropriate amount of potions or MP from your characters to heal all of them. Which is very handy on the go because the 8 game ages very well, especially when you're doing long portions of like there's no save point because you heal when you touch a save point. Well, there are sections where there are no heal or no save points, so you can just heal it when you don't get to those situations.
Okay.
And yeah, like it looks great still. I mean, you can definitely tell it's a PS2 era game.
Yeah,
not gonna sugarcoat that, but it's a fun game. And then I have a digital code for a significantly inferior Final Fantasy X-2, which I will probably never play, but I got it for a good deal, so I'm not going to pass up on Final Fantasy X because I was a toss up between that one and Final Fantasy 12. That was the Zodiac Age, which was it basically came down to I haven't played 12 before, but I had a great time with 10. So do I want a new experience or an excellent experience that I know I'll have a good time with. So,
and
eventually, I think I will get Zodiac Age because I think that just actually came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a full like $50 right now. I can definitely see that dropping to around 30. Realistically. Then we played Dauntless.
Yes.
Or do you want?
Played
Or should I talk about that after? Because I know I played.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so we'll touch on Dauntless in a second because I played I played Tetris Effect.
All right.
Oh.
Which is the PlayStation 4 exclusive Tetris game, and the big draw behind it is it's actually in VR. It is a Tetris game in VR.
That's cool.
And it's a really, really interesting experience because you're playing with a Tetris board in front of you, but it's actually like floor to ceiling.
Oh.
And so it's literally like you're looking down and doing your Tetraminos and then slowly moving up if you're, doing bad, or slowly moving down if you're going down. But it's a really, really interesting experience watching. Like, it's basically playing Tetris on a movie screen TV.
Interesting.
Cool.
So it's not like you get closer or any farther from the actual Tetris board. It's a bigger experience.
Right.
It takes a while to get used to because I've done a couple VR stuff now. The Tetris VR does a weird thing with the VR effect where you can move your head and there's tons of effects going all around you because of course it's Tetris.
Yeah.
So there's like, if you're in a sand level, there's going to be camels walking around you. So you can kind of experience that. Or if you're in space, or if you're in a computer, you've got all these effects happening around you. But you don't actually move closer to the board. So your brain is my brain anyways, was trying to figure out why, if I move forward, the board doesn't get closer.
Right.
And so the first couple times I got a headache playing Tetris in VR. But once I started realizing the effect, like the VR effect, you just stay still. You just move your head left and right. Don't like move in and kind of expecting yourself to be in a 3D space.
Right.
As much as it's just in there in front of you. So once you get behind that, it's actually a really, really fun experience. There is I don't know what kind of mode it's called. It's called like the max mode or something like that. As you're clearing Tetris lines, you're building up a meter, and it doesn't have to be full. But when you pop it, I think it's like the L1 button or L2 button, it actually stops the pieces from falling, and you can actually force drop them onto the board. And as you clear lines, you actually clear the lines below you, and then when the meter empties, it clears all those lines, and then you're left with, the smaller board state. So it's kind of like in case of emergency break glass scenario. The pieces don't drop for you. You just have to force them down. So you don't have to, if you're playing on a higher speed level, you're not like rushing them down or anything like that.
Interesting.
It's a very interesting take on Tetris. Very different experience.
Oh, Tetris.
Because I know you guys are very, or at least Nick, you played a lot of Tetris 99.
I'm retired.
You're retired. You're retired, yes, champion.
Cool,
retired champion.
I still have that picture on my phone.
Retired champion.
Retired champion.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, two very different Tetris experiences.
But good for Tetris being a game that came out in 1986.
The dawn of time.
Right, to all of a sudden...
It's still surviving.
Yeah, exactly. You've got Tetris 99, you got this VR Tetris, which is really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
And of course, the big thing with Tetris VR, or Tetris Effect, is that it's all musical based. So everything falls in line to... The beat falls in line with all the pieces that you're dropping. If you're clearing more pieces, the beat starts getting a little bit faster. The music gets a little bit in rhythm with you're tapping it left and right, and the beat actually follows you tapping it left and right, which is really, really, really cool. And audio wise, it's a very satisfying experience.
Cool.
Like I had a good time playing Tetris Effect, and I still am. I've already cleared the single player because it's Tetris with. You have one objective. It's not
right. See, that's the
and so there's a lot of online stuff related to it. There's a lot of community pieces to Tetris Effect, where it's for I guess every weekend they run separate events. So it's like this event, you need to clear as many Tetris clears as possible, or this event you need to get as many T-spins as possible, kind of thing.
They're doing something like that on 99 too, where you can unlock different skins for your. Tetrimos or whatever they are.
And that's exactly with Tetris Effect too, because it's all online. You can see there's a global completion meter, and usually by Friday the start of the event, it's already done because people in Japan, they crazy. People in Japan, they're crazy.
Well, I know Tetris 99, they almost had me because their event was, I forgot what it was.
Wasn't it like a Game Boy background?
Yeah, you could make the Game Boy background or like change it all to kind of a Game Boy effect.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, and so to get it, all you had to do was accumulate points.
Yes.
So if you came in,
you didn't even have to finish.
If you came in under 50th, you got like a point, and you had to get 100 points to unlock this thing.
Right.
So you play 100 games, where you just lose.
Yeah.
You've got it.
Yep.
If you play,
or if you actually
if you win,
if you try.
But if you actually win, you're done. Like one win, one first
100
place,
points.
100 points, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you come in top 10, you're gonna have that thing in 10 games.
Yeah.
So like if you're actually playing it, you're not gonna have to play 100 games unless you don't know how to play Tetris.
Yeah, and
Like I'm like, is it build the tower fastest? I'll build the tower fastest. Oh.
Well, yeah, what I like about Tetris Effect is there's not a whole lot of competitive stuff in it because competitive players were crazy in Tetris. Like if you boil it down,
Easy peasy.
yeah, okay.
Number one player right here.
I've it's on my Twitter.
It's on your Twitter.
Proof's there.
Proof of Twitter.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I took the picture and was a witness.
Yeah, Tetris Effect. It's a great, just a great game.
Cool.
Like even if without VR, even if you just play it standalone.
I heard it's supposed to be good. Yeah.
Just standalone, it's just so fun. It's a good, relaxing. Turn your brain off. Just drop pieces and just, the music. Oh my god, the music's so good. No, none of that in Tetris. None of that in Tetris Effect.
I was gonna say, but that's
very
what,
relaxing.
No, Tetris is supposed to be like
Anxiety.
panic-inducing.
Constant
Oh my god.
So I played that, and then we played Dauntless.
We did play Dauntless.
Dauntless fun.
For
what we experienced.
So far, so good.
And for what we paid, which was nothing.
Nothing so far.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yes.
I don't know what else this game has.
Yeah, I think it's
to be
just a
fair, we
grind.
basically just scratched the surface.
I hope.
Really?
I feel like we just scratched the surface.
It's not going to be all like that?
I feel like there's
I feel like it's
more.
all gonna be like
I feel like there's more to that game that we just haven't found yet.
I hope.
Or that they're going to do an update with more stuff?
Free to play. Not gonna say no.
No, and that's my piece. At this point,
I'm not gonna say no to that.
we have had fun. You go into a level, you hunt a thing, gather resources, which I'm still not quite sure what those resources are. They for the potions? You've been actually doing that stuff. I care.
Yeah,
not
they're for the potions.
I care. not
I
for the
haven't
potions.
since we've played.
Yeah. Brian was making
potions.
potions and grenades and all sorts of other stuff.
I'm
for one
excited.
game, and I'm just like,
I'm excited for the next time we play because we've unlocked the gun, and I would love more than anything than to shoot things with a gun.
I tried some new weapons. I'm a pole arm person in that game, or whatever they want.
I'm either the God of War like double wielding thing, or
the chain weapon, or whatever they're called.
Chain weapon,
yeah,
or the pistol. Because is it a dual wield or is it just a single? I don't know.
I don't know. Guy who used the gun.
It's dual wield.
Done.
But
exclusively that mode for me.
it takes quite a while for it to reload.
Don't care.
So you have to have grenades and other stuff.
I'll make it work.
And you have to, and you can upgrade the gun. So that's the other piece.
You can always,
to it.
you can upgrade all the stuff too. Everything you can upgrade.
You can upgrade. The gun has the different separate parts that you upgrade though, which
it's
I think
a different mechanic.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. The melee weapons, I had the hammer.
The hammer, I was interested in that.
It has ammo to it, like because it's a charged.
Oh, okay. All right.
I didn't know how to reload, which became an issue.
So the roadmap, the weird roadmap, is just rotating islands. They're going to expand the universe, they're going to have deeper combat, they're going to have improved interface, more activities, and social and personality stuff.
I think that's, because where that game is, it has a good amount of that stuff, but if they're willing to like expand on that, that's
cool.
Game. And visually,
I like it.
Like I remember when we played Fortnite for the first time.
Yes, and we said
I got that feeling playing Dauntless for the first time.
Yeah.
Whereas like this is fresh.
Seeing this one
it's
because
different.
of the armor, I think, and that's my piece was
yeah, it's on everything. Dauntless.
Yeah,
it's on.
Was
I don't think it's cross-platform on the Switch. I bet.
No, not yet.
Was more Fable-y.
See, I got more. I got.
And
more,
I got Fortnite-ish.
I got more Fortnite.
But with the armor and the type of weapons that we got, I was feeling much more Fable, like the big kind of fantasy weapon attached to the like fairly
little guy.
slender-ish type guy.
And I think that part of it is the Monster Hunter
Yeah.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Where Monster Hunter, you get these massive, like,
Yeah.
great swords and great axes.
Yeah.
And you're just swinging.
But yeah,
down.
attach that to the cartoony piece, and that definitely felt Fable-esque to me.
Yeah.
Obviously not Fable like the rest of Fable, where you're making choices and doing that and all
mean
that kind of jazz.
You mean a Peter Mullen game?
Peter Molyneux, where I can all of a sudden grow horns because I'm so evil.
I want to kick every rabbit.
But yeah, like this game, I like the hunting part's fun.
I think they're
I need
I'm
more-
I'm hoping the worlds are like the hunts are more than just point A to point B.
Yeah.
Yes, and I feel
That's what
like
I'm hoping for later on.
Yeah.
Because I know that's the big draw of Monster Hunter is we're going into this hunt. Where do you find this monster? And then the game says yes.
Right. And that's the piece that I
And
think is
so-
missing, because even some
Yeah.
of the hunts we did where it's like, oh, we couldn't find it right away, like it wasn't right in front of us.
Right. But
It was still in a very confined
yes.
area.
space.
Whereas somewhere like something like Monster Hunter,
You have to travel from area to area to area to area.
No, I was gonna say to track it.
Right.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
There's no tracking right now in this
Right.
game.
Tracking would be cool.
Which is what makes Monster Hunter so unique, where it's like, we're going to this hunt. All right, I'm going to look for footprints. I found some footprints over here, or I found some, like,
Dung.
some droppings.
Well,
or
and on
whatever
top
like
of that, it is a like Monster Hunter. We have to find this thing. It usually hangs out around rivers and waterfalls. So we're
Yeah.
like,
Alright.
okay.
Okay.
So then you have to go out into the world map and trace back to where you were, where
Right.
there was a waterfall with
Yeah.
that, and then start finding the little clues.
Or
that
it's like
will
you're
lead you
fighting them,
towards the-
or say you find the monster and you're fighting it, and then it, like, disappears
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Then you have to try and track it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of that in Dauntless.
No,
Again, like I feel like we're scratching the surface.
I
and
hope we
the
are.
developers are definitely
Hopefully,
scratching the
yeah.
surface.
I'm
For-
really
for what
wanting
this
the
game is.
combat to be more satisfactory. Like, I feel like I'm just like
Hitting
butt
some-
mashing.
And I think these early weapons are going to be a little bit like
Yeah.
that. And especially maybe it'll come to... Because we did fight that one monster where it was like, you can only hit it when you hit the bats.
Right.
So a
it's
different
like-
game mechanic.
Yeah,
I like the different game mechanics.
Yeah, like
for
that. If they're willing to be like, you can only hit this guy or a monster when he's in water, or
Yeah.
if he's standing in water, or you can only hit him while he's flying, or something like that.
See, and the different weapons do, like when you equip the hammer, it goes like you can't slice off tails and pieces because it's a
It's a
blunt
hammer.
weapon. It's not
Yeah.
a slicey type weapon. So like there's parts of that game which are good. It is still fun. I'm just worried that like
That's
to
it.
upgrade armor, we have to fight X creature 80 times,
Yeah. And
it doesn't change.
as much as I hate to admit it, I think that's going to be a lot of what that game is.
I think so.
Because that's a lot of what Monster Hunter is.
Yeah.
But I think the difference with Monster Hunter is that presentation, that style, the delivering of
Yes.
other stuff
Yes, there's more
Yes,
to
is-
Monster Hunter.
is
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on comparing this game to the previous the most recent Monster Hunter.
I think is it Monster Hunter Ultimate or
Yeah.
World or
World.
No. Generations? No.
I don't know.
But it's yes, I know what you're talking. It's very popular right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are into it.
Is that still worth the money you pay for it versus this free
I-
version?
I honestly have never been into Monster Hunter that much.
Oh,
I think that my big piece is with Monster Hunter is I need to play with people.
Hmm.
I can't play Monster Hunter either by
By
myself
yourself.
or randos.
Right.
I don't know that I could do either one of those because so much of it has to do with that social aspect of like, well, if I partner up with the rando, like maybe the guy knows what he's doing, maybe
Yeah.
he doesn't,
Yeah.
or maybe I'm the guy who doesn't know what I'm doing.
That would be me.
I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
I always
dragging
feel
down this
bad when I
rando.
hit the wrong button. So even Dauntless, once you left or Chris left, you left. We're like, we'll do like a couple more little ones so we
Yeah,
don't
sure.
like out level, but we'll
Sure.
gain some more armor. And I hit the button to go in, and I was just hitting the join button when there was four of us because we could just start our own party. I hit that button again, and all of a sudden we ended up with that. Like, it
Rando.
fills in that fourth position, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Like, this is not going to be a good...
To be fair though, in Dauntless, it's quick and easy.
It is.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
it's not
not-
like
I just
we're
always
hin-
feel
we
bad
won't be
when, like, you
hindering
hit
them
up
that bad.
PUBG or something,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
hit that button, and all of a sudden you're with... Like, it's you and I playing, and two more people, and it's like, well, sorry, guys.
This is gonna go either really poorly or
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah,
Most likely poorly,
most likely poorly.
because we're either gonna drag you down.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, I'm
Or
dra-
you're gonna
I'm-
drag me up.
I'm dragging you down. Whether you decide to just let me die and win the game on your own is its own piece.
Yeah.
Like, at least in, again, Modern Warfare, playing something like that,
Mhm.
I can join a team of people and if I'm dragging them down, I'm not dragging them down so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we lose by a huge margin, it's because all of us are dying.
Yep.
If we lose by a tiny margin and I've died 13 times, it's like, yeah, that was my bad.
Challenge accepted. I'll die 50 times.
Okay, there's no achievement for that.
Challenge accepted. Do we know? Has anybody done it?
Yeah, died 75 times in the game. Be the only person to die on your team. For the whole match.
So, yeah, no, at least the matches are quick. But, yeah, I would like some more depth.
I feel like, and I do feel like that will come.
So we'll see.
That will come.
But it's pretty and it's fun.
Yeah. I tried Conan with you guys.
Yeah, you did.
I basically just rage quit.
That's what we were saying. I think Tony just rage quit.
Yeah, I basically rage quit that game. I get why you guys are you like it. I get why you guys, there's like a lot of depth to that game, but I don't know that it's my kind of game. I think I died more and running back. I spent more time dying and running back to my body only to die 5 minutes later. Because I'm trying to find things to build my tools and things like that, but
and like I said, I think part of the problem is you start off where we are instead of at the starting
area.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. I totally understand.
And that part, not that we're far from the starting area, but everything
there's a flow to that game.
There's the progression of running through the desert, and it's like, oh, you're starting to get hot, find shade.
See, I didn't even. To be fair, I didn't get to that because I kept dying.
Or put clothes on, or whatever it is.
I spent probably half the time naked.
Yeah, and then you build your first little house of 2 walls by 2 walls sort of thing with a door, and you're like, okay, this is my house, and then you're like, I could make it bigger, and then that's where
you build your castle.
I just felt there just wasn't a whole lot of direction in my experience.
And again, I think
you need
the journey piece is what's supposed to guide you, but it's supposed to guide you from essentially where Conan cuts you off of the cross.
Yeah.
So you're in the desert, and like I say, there's a talking rock right in front of you already to kind of explain you're trapped within this realm. There's grass and rocks and branches, all the basic stuff is there.
Yeah.
So you just start going okay, now that I have enough grass, in my menu, it's just crafting.
Mm-hmm.
This is clothes. I will do to clothes. Boom, 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 boom.
It also doesn't help that game looks the way it does.
I'm fine with it.
I was not comfortable with the way that game looked.
I'm fine with it.
It was and the game mechanic, the fact that every action I did sent me into battle mode. Yes. And then I was and then there was no button to unbattle mode.
Climb a wall.
What if there's no wall?
Climb a wall.
There's always walls. Build a wall.
Yeah,
and then
build a wall. Climb the tree. I don't know.
There's that. And then you guys just started teleporting me everywhere.
That was a mistake.
Because I was like, I'm getting to my body. Nope.
That was a mistake.
That was a mishap.
That was a user error. But you're right. So there's if you have admin powers in that game, pressing triangle on the map screen will teleport you to wherever your cursor is.
Yes.
In my own single player game, because I've used it before, and looking down and going, oh, admin teleport, zoop, and you go into a load screen and then you pop up at the highest point of whatever. Mm-hmm. So in my own solo game, because my own solo game is essentially I experiment building things so that I can translate it back without wasting all sorts of resources.
Or time or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. So I'm I'll gather a bunch of resources and then I can just teleport back to my base. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, in your game, because there's more of us, it doesn't know what to... So it teleports all of us when you hit the button.
And the worst part about this is you can't adventure too far from the host.
Yes.
That was my other problems, because you guys are adventure. I'm okay.
Right.
I can't.
And that's part of it is...
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, that's the whole,
when
it's a big map.
You put me in a world that I want to adventure. I'm going to go south.
Well, we're supposed to adventure together.
I get that, but you guys are... and I'm totally fine with you guys doing your own things, but I just want to go...
Yes, you want to go do your own piece of it all.
I want to see things.
Yes.
Right, but I'm surprised that there's that strange limitation.
Yes,
based on how that game looks, because that game is not winning any awards.
No,
for best visual game.
But that map, if you actually look at it,
it's huge.
Is massive. So the part that you explored is that much of it.
Yeah.
So there is a big map. So if you play on a server, you don't have that limitation.
Oh,
Yeah.
like an actual online server.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
But
but
you
playing
can
on
lag a lot
but playing
more.
on an unofficial server, or sorry, playing on an official server, they're already filled with buildings, and you can't build where someone else has already built.
Yeah.
Right.
Because then you're encroaching on their territory, and then you're at war with these people, and
War.
yay.
To war.
So that's that piece, and then to get your own server is like $12 a month because you can buy them straight from the people who make Conan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's like $12 a month to host your own server, and it's like.
Not
But
worth
that makes
it.
sense. Like it's.
So there's that piece. If we really wanted the giant open world, all four of us could spread out and do our own thing, and then like
And then.
fight each
And
other.
the best part is
whatever.
we don't have to wait till Brian to log in.
And
Yeah.
that's, so Brian and I, when we played on the PC, because we got on the Humble Bundle cheap.
Mhm.
Yeah, on the PC we did the same thing where it's like I want to play, but everything's in.
One of
I think
guys-
you had it last
doesn't
time.
matter.
Right?
Yeah,
Either way,
it
one of
works.
us is
Yeah,
hosting, and it's
exactly.
like, well, I can just leave the game open, I guess. That way, like if you log in, you.
But
can
then that
just...
doesn't help. Like I want to go far.
And then that's the piece. Is all of a sudden it's like you can build things, but you can't venture further than this invisible ring.
Yeah.
So it was that piece where we're like, do we like this enough to like $12 a month? That's a lot of money.
Mhm.
So no.
Yeah.
And I could totally see if you had 8 people
Yeah.
who played constantly,
Yeah, like
splitting that kind of thing. But
yeah. This game wasn't my cup of tea.
I understand that.
It's super like I like certain things of it, but overall I wasn't having a great time.
That's okay.
Like weirdly enough the combat was all right.
Yeah.
All right because like the dodging felt good, like overcompensating almost.
Yes.
But the action roll seemed overcompensating.
Oh, yeah, big
in
roll.
in terms of speed and distance.
Yeah. You get a big dodge.
It's like, oh, I didn't want to get out of this combat. I just wanted to like dodge you for a second.
That dodge does decrease once you wear heavier armor. It's
Oh, yeah.
You don't wear heavy armor.
That's all
I
I could do is just do a
I
little
was
hop.
I was butt naked. Oh yeah, just butt naked with a sword.
My guy wears
fists.
my lady wears light armor. So the one time we were traveling, forgot where we went to go find, but Chris and I were climbing to get places, and we're watching Brian, and he makes it like halfway up, and then just drops like a stone, and he's like, "Well, how are you guys getting up?" So like Chris and I jump back down and start climbing again, and Brian follows us and makes it halfway and drops, and Chris and I make it to the top, and we're like.
It's armor, isn't it?
It's like, what armor are you wearing? And it's because he was too heavy, so he took all of his armor off and was climbing naked, but all of a sudden you could climb.
I could climb the whole thing.
But you still have the armor in your inventory.
It's in the inventory, but because... So in your inventory, it'll go towards your encumbrance.
Yeah.
It won't go towards your encumbrance if you're wearing it. Because encumbrance is just what you're carrying, essentially. Like, it's a weird...
The science does not make sense.
Right.
It doesn't.
It's
but-
that one weird game
Yep.
mechanic. It's that Zelda game mechanic where it's
It's
like
the bag
you
of
have
holding.
unlimited pockets, but that pocket will get really heavy. So if you take something out of the pocket and wear it, it's less heavy.
It's a bag of holding.
Yeah.
It's
So
a bag of
either
holding.
way, if he puts it in his bag of holding, it'll increase his encumbrance, but that does decrease his overall.
My own
weight.
overall.
I also
weight.
do wish you could climb a little bit faster. I feel like the climbing.
Yeah, I think you can upgrade that later, right? I don't know. I never
Yeah,
have even.
I mean, perhaps I'm being spoiled by Spider-Man. But
Yeah, you're not Spider-Man in this game. You're a human climbing a sheer
Well, I mean-
sheer rock wall.
I even think like Link's climbing in Breath of the Wild was a little bit faster.
Unless it was raining.
Fuck the rain. Fuck the rain. Although you
that's
can climb the
supposed-
walls raining in this game.
You can
You can,
climb
you
almost
can.
anything in this game, which is
Yes.
kind of the fun part.
and sometimes you climb when you don't want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a game.
It's yes.
It's
Yes.
above average, I guess. I don't know.
And it's we're
I'm-
having stupid fun on it, which is what changes
Yeah.
the game for
Yes.
us. Because when we went on that server the one time, you
Oh
couldn't
my
see half the
gosh.
stuff because it wasn't loading for Brian.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, whoa, this guy's built this entire like this one guy on the Sony server had built like a wall of rules.
Sure.
So it was like, make sure you're doing this and do this and do this and do this because he owned that entire river area.
Yeah.
Like from east to west, he owned that entire shtick.
That's so cool.
And you're just
I like that. That's cool.
And you're just like, holy cow. So his rules were like, if you're building something, build it like do this, do that, do that. He couldn't see any of it.
I couldn't see it. Yeah. It wouldn't just
because the game's finished. How many times did I fall through the ground?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's a super finish. I've never fallen through the ground. That's a
like. Is it considered out of early access?
Oh yeah.
It's a
you can pay money for it. You can pay money for it.
It's a finished game. It's on its second season of DLC.
Oh really?
Finished.
And they haven't finished this other.
They couldn't be bothered to put a hole or patch a hole in the ground.
To be fair, I've never fallen through a hole in the ground. So.
Neither have I.
Yeah, you did.
When did I fall through a hole in the
with
ground?
us?
That wasn't a hole in the ground. We teleported into the sky.
Oh, it looked like we teleported downwards.
No,
we went up to the sky.
So our problem was this. We went up, and for whatever reason, Brian wouldn't fall.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we kept dropping below his host bubble.
Yes.
So we'd shoot back up and fall again.
Yes, that was.
But every once in a while, I'd get far enough through the clouds where I would look and go like, "Oh, there's the water and the ground. Sweet. I'm gonna
Too far. Too far from the host.
It's like, Brian, for the love of God, just fall. Do something. Jump. Like, what do you have to do to fall?
And I was like, I don't know. I'm stuck in the sky.
Brian's stuck in the sky, and we were stuck in an endless loop of,
It's like Loki.
Yeah.
I've been falling for 30 minutes!
Pretty much.
So yeah, played that. What else did I do this week? That wasn't video game or movies. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I can talk about something else, but it's not really relevant or pertinent to us here.
Alright then. So. I played Pokemon Rumble Rush.
Oh, that is the one thing I tried for about 5 seconds.
On my phone.
That is the one I tried. Okay, so we can now full-on riff this game.
I am out of the tutorial level.
You got past the tutorial?
Heck yeah.
Oh my god, this game is so bad.
It is click on bad guys till bad guys die, and then proceed to the next level where you do it all over again.
So it's very much like the other versions of this game, like on the Wii U. But the difference is that this one, you don't even move your character.
You can.
No.
You can tap and it moves.
No.
You can swipe and it'll roll.
No.
Well, yeah.
So it's bad. This game's bad. I mean, it's cute as shit.
They're very cute.
It's cute as all shit. Like, it's amazing.
Yes.
But all you're doing is tapping. And it's basically watching numbers go up. You're watching bigger numbers and bigger numbers. You're getting new Pokemon from, like, beating them in the world.
Yes.
And watching numbers go up because they have a higher CP.
Yes. And the CP piece, again, is very...
See, he automatically
moves, but I can...
No.
And I can...
No.
I can...
Yeah, that's a dodge. It's not moving. That's a dodge.
Yeah, but look, I can...
You're dodging.
Yeah, but I can dodge all the way backwards.
You're not moving. No.
It has an Animal Crossing feel to it.
No, it does not.
Vaguely?
The trees and the sprites.
The circle, the tube map, maybe? You are seeing the extent of this game.
Hey, I just caught a Sandshrew. Oh, and by the way, when you hit the second world, all the Pokemon you caught in the first one, can't use anymore.
Why not?
Because as you're exploring islands, they don't want you to become overpowered, so they give you a new Pokemon to start the world with.
Fuck that noise.
So, like, I got it. They're like, oh yeah, you start with a new Pokemon, so they gave me an Eevee, and now I have to use this Eevee.
Like, it's cute. Look at that Growlithe.
Sure.
It's awesome.
Hold on, I got this, guys. Hey, no, get back in there.
You're not tapping enough.
You tap harder. Tap faster.
I caught the Growlithe, guys.
Yeah, this game's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
No one should play this game.
No, because the mechanic is tapping.
Tap.
Yeah.
It's 99% of that game.
Yeah.
Tap.
Tap.
You know what's I have better time tapping? Pokemon Go.
Well, but Pokemon Go again, because I think I was talking to Chris about this one, and it was legitimately a Pokemon Go at least lets me go for a walk.
I've done that lots in summer.
I have to I
need to be out there.
I have to be out doing something. So Pokemon Go is like a subset of my walk.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I can do something whilst walking, whereas this game as a game should entertain me.
It should have more mechanics than just tap.
Right.
At least
I should have to do things.
Right.
It's like that other
block
game.
Have mini games in there.
Yeah, it's like that block game that came out for Pokemon, where almost the same thing.
Block game.
Pokemon Quest or whatever that one was.
Oh,
they were
yeah.
the 8-bit weird Minecrafty versions, and it's the same thing where it's following a rail, and
watching the numbers get bigger.
I'm just like
you have to make sure that your overall team number is higher than the recommended, so you can go in. And I'm just like, that doesn't.
If you could program a simple AI to run that game and just do it for you.
Well, this game at least you have to tap.
But still, you can
I can make a
computer to tap that.
I can make a machine to do that.
The game, at least on what is it? The Pokemon Quest or whatever that one was at least like you could start that game, start the level, and just sit there and watch them do their like.
Yeah, that's probably just as nefarious as this.
Oh yeah, like this is better than that, but
not by much.
That means this is a good game.
That bar's not that high.
No. And then to unlock the boss levels, you have to catch a certain something. So prepare a Pokemon with CP 85 or higher in this area. Catch 3 Pokemon kinds in Pokemon. Catch 3 or more kinds of Pokemon in this area.
Nope.
And it's like,
no, thank you.
All right, and then I can equip gears to my Pokemon to like make them more powerful.
So you can get their CP higher.
So you can get their CP higher.
It's all about the numbers getting higher. Do you like to watch numbers?
And I don't know about you, but most Pokemon games I've played don't involve attaching gears to my Pokemon.
No,
I can equip them. I can get them to hold
you can
item.
protein or calcium.
I can get them to hold items.
Right, like that's my piece with some of these mobile Pokemon games.
Yeah, they're hit or miss.
It breaks away from Pokemon.
The Magikarp jump game is actually pretty good.
That was fun.
It was a good.
It
was a very good distractor.
Yep.
I mean,
I enjoyed Magikarp, but again, it also had that nice little aquarium.
It was cute.
So you're like, I'm building an aquarium.
And it's like, now, which Magikarp am I going to get today?
Right.
I've got a cow looking like one because it's black and white.
And it goes into my aquarium, and I can stare at my aquarium for whatever.
Right. So
so
that
Magikarp Jump was cool.
It was a good time waster.
Yep.
It was like I don't play it anymore.
I'm not
going to play it anymore, but at least when it came out, I had a good.
You had a good time with it.
Yeah. That's one of those games where, when they used to do, like, the live desktops on your computer.
Oh, I forgot.
Or you could get that little cat that would walk across and, like, land on top of your windows. They could do Magikarp, jump on a computer, and that could be my background, and I would be totally happy.
Now I want a background on my wallpaper that has just like an aquarium, but instead of fish, it's just Magikarp and Gold.
Right?
Magikarp and
You can probably find that on the internet.
Magikarp and Goldeen.
Like, that's my victory there, is, like, that would have been perfect. Because I did like that about Magikarp Jump, is I'm like, I can put this little thing in my aquarium, and I can do that to my aquarium.
I will say, and I just saw you do this, and it's a pet peeve of mine, not just with Pokemon Rumble Rush, but apps that take up the full screen.
Yes.
And you just swipe up to see your button.
Oh, I have to do that with all of my apps.
No, not all of them. Pokemon Go, you don't have to. Oh. See?
Pokemon Go?
You don't have to do that. See? No, wait for it. Because mine doesn't.
Mine does. Oh, there's
see?
back.
See?
I don't ever notice. I always swipe up and hit a button.
But that's not just the Pokemon Rumble related.
No, that's just a
natural
I don't mind
swipe.
If they can take up my whole I'll take up my whole screen.
No.
Because I'm used to this.
No.
Because usually I'm doing this anyways.
No. It's an additional swipe, man. So, it's an additional swipe.
Natural swipe.
I ain't got no time for an extra swipe.
I got tons of time for swipes.
I ain't got no time for an extra swipe. So yeah, we both played that.
Pokemon Rumble Rush.
Which is not a game.
Don't play it's not.
Don't play.
Don't play it. I played Stardew Valley a bit on my Switch.
Nice.
I restarted because that's one of those games.
Did you forget where you were?
I didn't forget where I was, but that's one of those games where you're building relationships with people and doing this, and I'm like, who have I pissed off? Who have I not pissed off? What have I done? What have I, what am I building? Because, again, there's, a rhythm to the day. Get out, water your stuff, do this, harvest your stuff, do this, da-da-da-da. And if you don't remember the rhythm, you're screwed. So I restarted, and I'm really basically back at the beginning where it's I have to clear this whole field and... go meet people and do all of that jazz again. So I'm I don't feel like doing this. So I switched back over to Undertale.
I need to play that game.
Very cool combat system.
So what is that game? I hear that everywhere.
Yeah, what is
Undertale? Is an RPG. So it's you are a kid, a girl who has fallen into the pit, the abyss, essentially, where humans eons ago pushed the demons back.
I'm getting
demons
Earthbound vibes from this.
Very much so. Okay. Demons can't pass a certain barrier unless they collect so many human souls. So the thing about this is demons or monsters, when they die, their soul just disappears. Humans, though, their soul remains because their soul is so strong. Their soul remains long enough that it can be captured, essentially.
Okay.
So humans are stronger than monsters, which is how we pushed them back. Like, that's just, all the monsters know it. They are all freaked out of humans because humans can essentially just stomp them.
Okay.
The weird thing to this game is you don't have to fight anything. So you get into a combat screen, there's fight, and then there's act. And act allows you to, depending on the monster, do certain things. So, like, you can compliment a monster.
So it's got a bit of persona.
Very weird. So, for instance, very early on in the game, there's a dog. Like, he's a bad guy.
Sure.
Dog monster thingy.
Aww.
You can pet the dog.
Do it.
So you pet the dog.
Do it.
Dog gets excited.
Sweet.
But because the dog gets excited, your attack is all of a sudden a little heart that you can move around a box. And because he's excited, he'll start slobbering. So, like, pieces of slobber are falling down, and you have to now dodge them with your heart. Because your heart is your soul.
What the fuck is this?
So then you pet the dog again, and all of a sudden his neck starts growing because he's super excited about being petted.
Just like real life.
Yes.
Just
You
like
can
real life.
continue petting the dog and petting the dog. But once he hits a certain, like, once his head starts growing, it's like the dog has been appeased, and then you can just let the dog go. So you can, like,
Is this a game?
Yeah, it is. The combat and the story is far out, man.
You have described a Hideo Kojima game.
Very much. It's like
Like
an
if
NES version of a Hideo Kojima game.
You've described something that he does on drugs.
Because the graphics are those kinds of graphics.
What if you pet the neck so hard that he just keeps growing?
It does.
It
goes past the screen at the top and then snakes back down.
What the fuck is this game?
So none of the combat has to be, and then like some of the combat, for instance, they'll give you hints as to what you're supposed to do, or some of the time you have to leave that 4 bar. Like there's attack, like fight, act, mercy, and items at the bottom. Like those are the 4 things you can do in combat. Every once in a while, to beat the bad guy, you actually have to leave those 4, but you don't know you can leave those 4 unless you like press up on the D-pad.
What?
And then all of a sudden you're in a different part of the screen and clicking something because someone's like, click the yellow button, and you're like, okay, so you press act, and there's nothing like click the yellow button.
There's nothing to click?
But up on the screen, there's now a yellow button behind the guy, and you have to like click it.
Oh.
You've described a Hideo Kojima game.
It is nuts. It is weird, it is quirky, and it is fun.
I feel like I should be playing this game right now.
And I didn't play it for the longest time because the graphics to me looked like someone cheaped out and just made a very basic NES game.
I couldn't figure this game out because as soon as it started,
everybody got into it.
Yeah, it started exploding.
Yeah.
And people started making memes on it.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what is this?
I had students drawing like the characters, and I'm going like, this is making no sense. Like, what is this flower? Why do we care? Who is what's the first lady you meet who helps you out is called Toriel, as in tutorial.
All right, I can get behind that.
She walks you through part of the game. There's items you can carry that have. So you meet a snowman who can't travel because obviously he would melt in certain places. But he wants to see the world, so he gives you a piece of himself that you now have to carry around for the rest of the game.
That'll come back somewhere.
There's an item called dog residue.
Okay.
Is it poo?
I don't know where I got it. Oh no, I know where I got it. And I don't know what exactly it does other than when I use it, it fills any empty inventory slot with dog residue. So all I end up is with like mass amounts of dog residue.
Gross.
And can you drop it?
You can put it in your box and put it away, but essentially if you use it a second time, it doesn't recreate more, but it creates a weird scent that does nothing. Except probably somewhere in the game, it might do something.
This is one of those games where it's like there's so many things that happen behind the scenes.
There's a snail race. So you can pay the guy $10, and you can cheer on your snail. If you cheer too hard, your snail ignites into flames.
Just like real life.
Yeah.
Just like real life.
If your snail wins, you end up with 19 gold as a winner. But what you actually want to do is come in second place. Because to come in second place, you have to time it just right. Because like first comes in, then you, and the third guy's right behind.
Okay.
So it's very time specific. But your snail thinks it wins. So it doesn't feel bad. The guy who's like running the race gives you $30 and is just like, just pretend he won.
Yeah.
And you can do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So if you win, you get 19 gold. If you come in second place, you get 30. Because he doesn't want your snail to feel bad.
Oh,
just like real life.
What a caring guy.
What is this game?
It's pretty messed up, but it's fun. Like I've had a very enjoyable time with this game.
Is it like a good plane game?
It could, yes. Okay. Take it on a plane.
I'm investigating at the moment.
It is. It's Earthboundy. Like I've heard that before. It's like, kind of the spiritual successor to Earthbound.
From my understanding, like from my experience, everything I've seen is there's different games mechanics in this one game.
Yes.
And it's all like I was flipping through screenshots of it, and it's like this is the same game.
Yes.
This is the same.
So there's puzzle rooms that you have to get around. Some of the puzzles aren't actually puzzles, so they gear you up for a whole puzzle, and nothing happens.
The ultimate cock tease?
Yes. So like, there's these two skeleton brothers, and one of them wants to become a royal guard, so he's trying to catch a human.
Okay.
But he ends up not falling in love with you, but he wants to be friends with you by the time you're done because you really like puzzles. And he set up all these puzzles to catch you, and you keep outdoing him. And he's like, "You must really like puzzles." And you're like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "We should be friends." And at one point, you're like, one of the acts you can do is flirt with him. And he's like, "Should we go on a date?" And you're like, "Yeah."
Let's do
and then
this.
he tries to court you with there's a meter on the side that appears. Because he's going to be better at dating than you are. So if you go through the fight, all of a sudden, like, your bar goes up and, like, crushes his. And he's, like... The whole game is just messed up. So every fight is different.
This sounds like a fever dream, this game.
If you want to, you can legitimately fight your way through. You can just hit fight and do regular attacks like in any other RPG.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll do. But there's a pacifist run you can do, which gives you the, like, real ending. Which means you never kill anybody.
Right.
So that's always using your axe to
do something.
That also means you don't level up.
So you basically finish game level 1.
Yes. Because if you fight things and defeat them, you get experience. If you use your axe to give them mercy, you get gold, but no experience.
So but
that doesn't matter, because if you're not fighting...
They're sometimes still attacking you, so then it just becomes you got to get really good at whatever you have to do with your little heart.
Fuck up.
Oh man, and then like one of them's like, "Oh, my buddy has his super special attack. If you see blue, don't move and nothing will hurt you."
Yeah.
So like if their attack is blue,
and that's literally like don't move the cursor.
Don't move your little heart cursor thing. So if you see this wave of blue coming in, you just stay still. It passes right by you, no damage done.
What happens if you move?
You get hit.
And that's like moving the cursor, too.
Yeah. So you move.
Weird. This is
as long as that attack's going, you don't touch anything.
This is a Hideo Kojima game if I ever heard.
And then the comedy on top of that is like, think about like a stop sign is red. So you stop at a red stop sign. So when you see a blue attack, think of a blue stop sign and stop moving. And you're like...
My head hurts.
Why would you tell me it that way? Just tell me, see blue, don't move.
That reminds me of, I was reading the Polygon guy, he Unraveled.
Yep.
He did that video of reading all the books in Skyrim.
Oh, yeah.
And he found one of the books of lockpicking.
Oh, yeah.
He actually thought it was like one of the best fictions, in-game fictions.
Yeah.
Where it was like teaching you how to do lockpicking.
Yeah.
And apparently like one of the comedy pieces at the end of the book was this, what was like, if you can't read, this book won't make sense to you. Get someone else to read this book to you, it'll make more sense then.
Yeah, this game was written with the story in mind, and the graphics themselves, they look really simple, but they get complex at certain points to the part where you're like, they knew what they were doing by keeping it so simple, which is nice.
And it's just the fact that there's so many different art
styles. So much different art styles going on.
Yeah. That's why I was super confused. It's like, is this all one game? And it's like, yes.
Yes. It is a strange game.
It's only like $15 or something.
Yeah, it is worth trying.
It's been out for like...
Well, because it released on the PC ages ago. Like, it was a game on Steam.
It was a sleeper hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden everybody's like, "This game is the best thing ever made."
And apparently the guy made a second, like a sequel, but not sequel.
Delta Ruin.
Yeah.
Which they talk about in Undertale. So it's a sequel, not sequel.
It's a sequel, not sequel.
Yeah.
Same shared universe.
Sure.
Yes. I haven't played Delta Ruin, so I have no idea. And it's one of those ones I don't want to look up too much about it.
Because you could spoil something, right?
Because you could spoil something. So.
I bet you it's probably something like how Riverdale's referenced in
Sabrina,
but not really Riverdale.
Yeah. On top of that, I played Rescue HQ, the Tycoon game.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, so apparently Rescue HQ is something in and of its own thing, so they had to tack on the Tycoon game at the end. Because I was watching Geekism play it, because he got an early access copy, and he was like, welcome to Rescue HQ. And then on like the third episode, he's like, Rescue HQ, the Tycoon game, as I have been asked to specifically call it. Because there's some legal mumbo jumbo going on. Either way, you run a police, fire department, EMT, like you have to build an office space with all of the garages and all of that jazz.
Like Paw Patrol.
No.
No? But you actually have to build the space. So you have to build like, bedroom, like a common bedroom place for them. And the bathrooms and the kitchen. Because if you don't build a kitchen...
They die.
Well, no, they won't die. They'll go out for food, and if a fire happens...
They're not there. Wow, it's so dangerous. That's why they always eat at the station.
Right. So... you have to like build and maintain the vehicles and like order the vehicles and pay for them. So there's that. There's that Tycoon game piece to it. You're running an emergency.
That's kind of an interesting appeal to it.
Yeah. So then even when they go to the fire, like for instance, right now all there is fires, because I'm doing the tutorial.
Everything's on fire.
Well, no, it slowly builds up. And the guy that the mayor, I believe, is the one who's talking to you and trying to he's like, I'm gonna call you Cadet because that's They're like, what's your name? Oh, you can't tell me your name. Right, I'll just call you Cadet. And he's like, so, like, the way that they introduce it, it sounds like the mayor really just likes starting fires. So we needed a fire department.
We just need to clean the world.
So when you get a fire, you click on the fire and it goes, this is like an industrial fire, or a commercial fire, or a residential fire. So your fire people can actually have different training, like your firemen and women can have different training. You can get rookies, who you obviously have to send in with actual people, but they'll actually bring your chance of success down. So you have to you can't just send in 5 rookies and one go-to guy
and make it work.
You have to send in 3 go-to guys and a rookie each time. They can get tired if they're all fighting fires at the same time, so you have to hire more people and all of that jazz and keep that balanced. There's a night shift and a day shift, so you actually have to manage people on each shift. I've only gotten through that part of it. Like they just wanted me to start building police people now. Different fire trucks have different.
Do you have to do ambulance?
Yes,
stuff
eventually.
Okay.
Military.
No.
Tanks.
So it's fire, police, and ambulance. Paramedics.
Yes.
So
helicopters.
And the cool part is you're on a street, and kind of on a corner, so you have access to the street. But obviously, the garage has to have street access. So when you're building the building...
So it's one of those things that the game checks for. It's is there street access for your emergency vehicles first? Yes. Yeah. What else do you want to do? Anything else?
Yeah. So to build a garage, they won't even let you build a garage unless it's touching
road.
That
seems...
Okay.
And obviously, it has to be big enough to hold vehicle.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, the garage is this big, and I put the fire truck that's bigger than garage. So your space is limited, so you can't just
Can you get a bigger garage?
You can build a bigger garage, and you can buy extra land space, but you need extra money and all of that jazz, and you need to gain a certain amount of reputation before you can do that. So you actually have to be you can't just send people to fires and let a building burn. You actually have to put stuff out and then gain reputation. And then I've seen it, but when you gain 2 of the 3 things, like police and fire department, some emergencies require both to go out.
Ooh.
So then you have to make sure you have enough, police cars and enough fire trucks and the right fire trucks. I built one fire truck in the game this morning, and it was a ladder truck, and I'm like, yeah, with the big ladder that.
Nope.
Well,
truck?
It doesn't contain water.
So what do you have to do?
You have to send in. I got rid of.
Hook it up, don't you?
Well, no, I got rid. You can build another truck that is just a water truck that goes out with that truck.
That's not how firefighting works.
So, no, but they always send more than one vehicle, sort of thing.
Yeah, but that's the fire hydrants. Fire hydrants.
Apparently, this town doesn't have them.
That's why there's fires everywhere.
I know.
That's why there's fires everywhere.
So either way, I sent this fire truck with no water to a fire because it's all I had. It's like, you failed, and I'm like, no way. Like, and then all of a sudden I had people quit because I had sent like the same rookie out 12 times and he left because he was exhausted. And I'm like, oh, there's some depth to this
I just
game.
wanted to level up my level 1 guy.
Yeah, I was just trying to level up my dude.
Get him past rookie.
It's not my fault he's a rookie.
Why is he still a rookie?
Yeah, why is he still a rookie? He's been to like 3 fires already.
He should be a
sergeant
He
already.
should be
or something,
at least a novice
Yeah.
at this. He's no longer a rookie.
I then played Hello Neighbor, which I got
heard that was
through
not a good game.
a humble bundle. Here's the problem with Hello Neighbor. The promise was this, and we got this.
I hear it's a really good streaming game.
That would make sense.
It's a good streaming game.
But the neighbor was supposed to react to a lot of stuff, and he doesn't. Like, he's supposed to...
Is it? Do you find it unforgiving? It looks like one of those games where it's like, if you're stuck in, like, you step in the wrong spot,
yes.
dead.
Yes. Like, there's parts, like, I was reading a walkthrough for part of it, because I did not know what to do. And the walkthrough I read, I'm pretty sure 99% of it broke the actual game.
So it wasn't falling in the...
It wasn't actually following... Yes, it broke game mechanics to get us to the point where I got to.
Oh.
Or it didn't, and the game just expected me to know to do things
so
to break it.
Oh, okay.
So, and again, like first act, you see your neighbor... Well, you hear screams from the house.
Mm-hmm.
So you're this kid, you hear screams, you see your neighbor kind of like over something because you can't see that far through the window. All of a sudden, you hear the screams getting quieter because this person's been locked in a room in the house, like you've crept up and seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see him put a key down on a table. You don't know where that table is, but you know there's a purple table with a key on it.
Okay.
Get key, opens door.
Makes sense.
But...
Cool. Then you start off in front of his house at his front gate. Go.
Another game with, like, very little direction.
No direct. So I'm sitting there because the menu I can't use my mouse in. So
Okay.
all of a sudden I'm like, can I? So I move the mouse and it's like, okay, this is left
And
and right and up and down. Cool. You know, wasad for movement.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So then, like, there's a window I wanted to crawl through because it was open. And I couldn't quite hop into it. So there's, like, a cardboard box. So I'm, like, sitting there trying to, like, run into this cardboard box to, like, move it.
You look like a fool.
You do. Well, you look like it's like if this was a third-person game, it would be essentially like, let's move this box to the window. Like, and by then he's now looked out the window, and the music starts with the like da 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 da. So then you're running in circles around the house.
Yeah.
Trying to lose them. What is the backstory behind this game? Like, what is the story?
That he's locked someone in the basement.
Okay.
You don't know who it is, and you're trying to essentially...
That's all it is?
Yeah.
Because last time you said, like, the goal is to get to the roof.
Yes, because he's...
The roof is falling.
Act 2, he has captured you, and you escape, and then have to... So, Act 1, his house looks like any other house on the block. Act 2, he's now built this giant fence around his place, and you have to escape. But Act 1, like, I finally figured out if I held E, I could pick up items.
That seems awkward. Like,
so you can hold up to...
He's just above the D.
Yeah. Like, how do you... Then that means... That seems awkward.
Right there. And you don't have to hold... Like, you hold it.
Oh, I thought you were holding it.
No. You hold it to pick... If you just press E, you won't pick anything up.
Oh, I gotcha. You don't have to hold it while moving.
No.
Oh, okay.
Hold E to pick up item, but, like, you walk up to a cardboard box.
Yes,
and it's
okay,
like,
all right.
press E. Nothing happens.
Oh.
I guess I can't pick stuff up. Press, like, left mouse button. Nothing happens. Press right mouse button. Nothing happens. I guess I cannot interact with the things in this world.
But
you just
there
have
was
to
just
hold
very
it.
little tutorials.
Hold E, pick stuff up. So when I read the walkthrough, all of a sudden, because there is in the first level, there's like shelving that you can climb that gets you close to the top of the roof, but not quite onto the roof.
Okay.
So the walkthrough's like, yeah, take 2 boxes with you and pile
I
up,
have
jump
trouble
on
getting
bugs
one.
And,
I have trouble.
And I'm
getting...
like, I can pick up boxes?
I have trouble with one box.
Yeah. So.
Not much to guidance.
And then on top of that, like, from what I saw from the original trailers, is the neighbor was supposed to be...
Hold on. Are we in an alien colonial marines situation here?
Yes. We're in, like, a No Man's Sky area where, like, the neighbor was supposed to be really smart AI. So if, like, you kept doing the same thing, he would know it. So, like, if you keep turning the power off to his house, he's eventually going to do something that stops you from doing that.
Put a lock on the box or something like that.
Something like that. Like, all of these things were supposed to happen where the neighbor was supposed to learn about what you were doing all the time and was supposed to be able to, like, oh, here's a window break, he's going to be there. No. Even Act 2, I'm reading the walkthrough, like, I read it really quick. He's supposed to be sleeping at the beginning. He was never sleeping. Like, it wasn't like a... So the Act 2 is supposed to start with, if you don't make noise, he'll stay sleeping.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're not being quiet enough.
I took 3 steps and he was already jumping out a window at me. Like, I had...
Are you crawling?
I was not crouching, no. But legitimately, like, I came out and I'm like, things have changed. So I was, like, walking away from the house, because safe zone.
Yeah.
Like, away, and all of a sudden it's like, bum, 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 and he leapt through his own window and, like, grabbed me.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Just like
great, awesome. It's kind of cool. But then again, some of the game mechanics, again, I was online because you end up in the basement, which is actually, he's dug underneath multiple people's houses.
Oh,
because his basement is huge.
Creepy.
So to get to this generator, you have to climb over a fence. And I'm not sure how you're supposed to... I fumbled my way grabbing, like, a giant projection screen and hitting it with enough stuff to slightly knock it over where I could, like, kind of...
So is it like, it's not... maybe that's not the intended way to solve that puzzle.
It might not have been, but it was the only way I could find to get to that area. Because in my brain, what I saw was a thing with a button.
Yeah.
And a hole in a fence. And a bunch of bricks.
Yeah.
So I picked up brick and started tossing them over hole to hit button. Because in my brain...
No.
That
it was no.
I hit the button, the light bulb, the box. Like, I was whipping. I hit every part of that box. Nothing. You actually had to activate it with E.
Huh.
But to get over the fence, you had to pretty much, like, pile junk up until you could...
Just like
you have to pile up those bricks.
Well, no, and I tried piling the bricks out, and that didn't go well.
Just like real life.
Yeah. The one cool thing is you can put chairs in front of doors, I guess, to slow them down.
Okay.
That's
like real life.
Just like real life.
Yeah. So there's pieces of it that are kind of cool, and other parts that are just... I don't know if I have to play it more, but there's only 4 acts. I'm in Act 2, and I'm already like, okay, I'm glad I got this in a Humble Bundle.
In a discount.
Because there was other games in that Humble Bundle that I wanted, and that was just one of those, like, oh, I can finally try Hello Neighbor.
I hear so much about this. What could it be like? Oh, no.
Well, because I saw the trailer, and I'm like, I'm so excited for this game.
It could be something.
Yeah, the trailer looked really good.
And then it came out, and I read the reviews, and I'm like, never mind, I'm not touching this game.
It definitely sounds like an Alien Colonial Marine situation where it's like, the AI was presented this way in the trailers.
Yes.
And then because of a spelling error,
it didn't.
The AI reacted like an idiot.
Yeah. So I don't know. I watched David Letterman's Netflix show. There's a new season.
Yeah, season 2. Yeah.
I watched the Ellen episode.
Ellen is the only one I'm interested in.
That was me too. I'm like,
why is he opening with the showstoppers?
Well, it was funny because like I hit the. It was, new season, and I barely recognized people for the most part, and I'm like, Melinda Gates I might watch. So Bill Gates' wife, she's the last episode.
She could be all right.
She could be interesting, just because they do so much, like...
charity work?
Yeah.
They do a lot of stuff.
That could be cool to watch. But Ellen's was essentially just, him getting in-depth with Ellen, and it was funny because we grew up in that age where she did have her sitcom, and then she had nothing.
Yeah.
So she goes through all of that...
Her nothing piece?
Her nothing piece, where she had, she'd come out, and then everybody told her it would end her career, and it essentially actually
It almost did, yeah.
She got 1 extra season after she came out, but ABC stopped advertising the show. Mm-hmm. And, even David Letterman sits there going, were they just afraid that you were the only gay person out there? And, and she goes, but that was the time.
That was the time. I remember that.
Yeah. And... at this point, and then she's like, and then I'd go on, she's like, I finally went on another tour, and I'd piss people off because I wasn't gay enough.
What?
Well, because all the people that came to her shows now, because she's like, I lost my straight audience.
Yeah.
So I'd fill up a comedy room with gay people, but I wouldn't do any gay jokes, because that wasn't my material.
Yeah.
They'd be pissed that I wasn't, you know, riding the frontier of like, you know, gay people are cool and we should, you know, all be supportive. So she's like, then I started losing them.
Oh, jeez.
And then she's like, and apparently this one guy never heard that I wasn't working anymore because a guy from Pixar called and offered her the role of Finding Dory.
Or Dory.
Or Dorian.
Or, yeah, sorry, Finding Nemo. And she's like, and at that point, they paid her $75,000 over 3 years for that role.
Really? She only got that much?
Wow.
She was nothing.
Yeah.
And at that point, like, David Letterman's like, wow, $25,000 a year. You were breaking bank. And she goes, I had nothing. Like,
yeah.
I needed
I
needed anything anybody was giving me. And she's like, and then it slowly just, you know.
Her name started being built to that guy.
I think that's why she's so humble too. Like she's such a
super humble, and she's had a really weird life and all of this stuff. And they talked about she won that Medal of Freedom from, or not won, but like was given the Medal of Freedom by Barack Obama. So they talk about that. Like it was just a really like it's that in-depth interview where you're like, oh my God, Ellen, like.
Can I just hug you?
Right. And even looking at Dave at certain parts, he's just looking at her and not saying anything, just letting her digest things and then talk.
Yeah.
And even he looks like he just wants to reach across the chairs and like give her a hug.
Give her a hug. How much is she worth now? Like
over $1.
They do. Yeah.
I hope I'm worth over $1.
They walk through the studio, like Warner Brothers studio. Her stage is now the Ellen DeGeneres stage.
Yeah.
Like they've named it after her now. All sorts of stuff's been filmed there. Like they went over the list of some of the films that have been filmed. Ocean's 11 was filmed in that stage.
She would enjoy that, yeah.
But like all of this stuff was filmed there, and it's like, you have your own stage now. And she goes, yeah. Like it's pretty surreal to...
After all she went through.
After all that stuff, and now she has not only the Ellen DeGeneres stage, but like they're walking through the back lot. She has 3 or 4 buildings that are hers.
Yeah.
Like one's just her digital people. And she's walking through and like she scared someone and they're like, oh my God. And she's like, hi, I'm Ellen, I'm your boss. And Dave's like, you don't even know who that is? She's like, I have no idea who that is. She's like, I own a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, I expect everybody's doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Like, we're cool.
Yeah. She's not a micromanager.
No, she has people to do that because she has millions of dollars now. So
yeah, she's rich.
And she's busy, actually.
She's super busy, so that's the pieces. It was just very cool to hear about her life and all the stuff she's gone through to be where she is now. It's one of those things where you go like...
It's very much a rags to riches.
Well, but she was in...
And then she came out. And
she was in Hollywood, and things were good, and she had her own sitcom that was doing really well. And before that, her life was kind of, you know, to like points where you're like, okay, weird relationships with parents and step-parents and like bad things happening and all that jazz, to getting your own sitcom, being a very popular stand-up comedian. She was the first female that Johnny Carson ever called over to the couch as a female comedian. Like, big name. And then nothing. And then now...
Because of one aspect.
And now everything.
Billionaire. Like, easily. So, with a megacorp. And it's just, you just want to sit there and, like, hop through the screen and be like, Ellen, thank you for being a really cool rich person, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I watched...
Stand-up person.
Yes. And then I watched Dogma.
Yay.
I had to find it. Because no one will release it.
It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. I don't know. You guys should. Sorry.
It's a. I absolutely. This is actually the first Kevin Smith movie I ever saw. Was Dogma.
I think
a long time ago.
I feel like it was mine too.
My uncle rented it or bought it on like special edition DVD, and he was supposed to be babysitting me. And I was like 10 or 11.
That's great.
And he's like, we watched Boondock Saints and Dogma.
Wow.
Oh yeah. It was a stellar evening.
You lived the dream.
Yeah. But Dogma was, I found it funny back then.
It still is.
And now watching it, I understand so much more of it. Or I'm just like, oh my God, this movie is just...
ahead of its time.
So beautiful and perfect and so well done and well written. And the actors that he got for that film are insane.
Were the actors that big at that time?
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck had come off of Good Will Hunting. Alan Rickman was Alan Rickman.
Oh yeah, Alan Rickman's
Alan Rickman just came off of Die Hard, didn't he?
I don't know.
Like Alan Rickman wasn't that
he wasn't
big
Snape,
in
but
the US
he,
yet.
No, but he
was Alan Rickman. Like people recognized him as Al. Like to the point where Kevin Smith wasn't sure he'd get Alan Rickman.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like he sent in the script going, "Wouldn't it be cool if he said yes?" And Alan Rickman's response was, "How much is the script going to change? And are the wings CGI or practical?" Like, I'm in, but only if I get real wings, and only if I, if the script is this, because this is gold. Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's right. He's in the movie.
He's the 13th apostle.
Oh, right.
The apostle's not supposed to be black, but
you can't have a black apostle, even though Jesus was black, according to Chris Rock's character. The only unknown in there was the lady, like the leading lady, who apparently was a pain to work with, and she hasn't done anything
since.
Well, she did Men in Black. She was like the love interest in Men in Black.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That lady.
Oh, she was dumb.
And that was pretty much it. And even like Kevin Smith's gone on record of saying she was horrible to work with, and he would have rather worked with like any of the other women he had ever worked with in any of his other View Askew movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, because she was horrible to work with. There's days where she wouldn't even talk to him.
Jeez.
And of course, Jay and Silent Bob. And I forgot what they're playing prophets.
That's right.
they are unknown prophets of the Lord.
Sure.
So either way, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are Loki and
I don't remember that's
one
been
of
so
another
long.
another angel. They're angels that have been cast out of heaven.
It's been so long since I've
and
seen
they find a loophole because the Catholic Church is rebranding, and as part of their rebranding, in this New Jersey church, if you walk through the arch, all your sins are forgiven.
That's right.
So their whole shtick is if they walk through the arch and all their sins are forgiven,
they'll go back to heaven.
And they die, they'll get back to heaven. But if that happens, the whole universe explodes because God's will cannot be undone. So if God said they're not allowed in heaven and they get back to heaven, the whole world unravels because if God's word isn't true, then nothing can exist.
That's right.
So this woman is put in charge of stopping these two angels from getting through.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
I haven't either, and then it was at that point where I'm like, I was watching all of Kevin Smith stuff, and I'm like, oh, I miss Dogma. And then I went to look for it because I'm like, I'll order it. Can't find it digital. Can't find, like, the DVDs are all a fortune because they don't release them anymore because it's owned by Disney, who does not want to release this controversial film.
Surprises no one.
So found it.
Where'd you end up finding it?
Yar.
The
only place I ever find
things on the ground.
It's a bay of people who find things on grounds.
I need to do that with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm very behind. I haven't started season 6 yet.
So either way, found that one, watched that one, loved that one. They open with Matt Damon's character convincing a nun that she shouldn't believe in God because God can't possibly exist. And Ben Affleck looks at him going, you know he exists. You've talked to him. Like, he used to give you orders. Why do you keep doing this? And he's like, I like playing with the clergy. And then, like, they just go about their business. So.
I miss that movie.
It's some stellar work by some very good actors and really good writing. That's where movies came in for all of Kevin Smith's stuff, The Golden Cow.
Mm. Oh, okay.
So there's, like, a fast food chain restaurant, which was Clerks 2.
Yeah.
They worked in a Movies. Movies came from Dogma because it was the Golden Cow.
Golden Cow.
That you're not supposed to, not supposed to praise anything other than God, and everybody has fallen for Mubi because he has theme parks and restaurants and
just like
he's the Mickey Mouse of the universe. He's Mubi. So, and since then Movies has been in all of his movies. So Dogma, watch it. Oh, Selma Hayek's in it. She's a stripper. She's a muse. Sorry.
Yes.
She's a muse.
So weird.
It's like so many weird people in that movie.
Okay.
Go.
Oh. I'm on season 5 of Game of Thrones.
You are crack-a-lackin' through Game of Thrones.
You're getting there. What's the last season? 8?
8 just finished.
Yeah, 8 is the last one.
8's the one that everybody wants remade.
Yeah, I heard it was not good.
Chris liked how it ended, but would have preferred a longer journey to get there.
Because that's what
I feel
I was watching your guys' when he was
Yes.
talking about it, and he was...
and I do agree. I think that rushing some
They
of
kinda
the
rush
Six
Thrones.
episodes.
6 episodes. That's
when it's
not
usually
long.
10. When it's usually 10.
It's usually 10.
So they missed 4 hours of possible
like,
content.
exposition.
4+, because not
4
all.
plus, yeah.
Some of those episodes are longer than an
An
hour.
hour,
So
yeah.
it's yes, that was Chris's big thing. Was it would have been nice to have more exposition on the way
Yeah.
to.
It would have probably cleaned up a lot of
Yes.
why things happened.
Yeah. Did they say why?
It was
Yeah.
the director's choice that they
Choice.
thought they could do it in 6, and they
It
didn't
wasn't
want to
like-
bog down the season with a lot of stuff.
But
Chris's extra idea is because there's no book to follow.
Yeah.
They didn't want to put things in that might not happen.
Yeah. Or
But at
that
this
they
point-
didn't want to say stuff
But at
that's
this
going to be in
point,
the
they've
book.
already done the research with J.R.R. Moulton.
Yeah.
J.R.R. Martin?
Martin.
Martin.
Yeah. They've already...
George Martin.
George Martin. They've done stuff, like, they talked about the last season with him already.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's more or less his vision.
It is his vision, but like I said, if he put down the main plot points, and that's kind of what Chris said. It's like he gave them, this is going to be a main plot point, this is going to be a main plot point. Like there's 6 big plot points, obviously ending with someone taking the throne,
Yeah.
and we're going to make an episode based on each one of those plot points and ignore anything that happens in between.
I guess so.
And it's just like, because
I
they
just-
don't know what happens in between, because he doesn't know what
He
happens
doesn't know
in
what...
between.
Yeah.
Because he's not done yet. And it's like, you should have just waited.
They should have
then.
just waited then. Or,
Or-
were they worrying about people getting too old?
Do your
like
own
the
thing.
cast?
No, because everybody's grown up at this point.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, then do your own thing.
I don't know. I don't
and
know.
just
I
screw it and be like, this is HBO's Game of Thrones season 8.
just do what the Scott Pilgrim did for the last act of the movie.
Or the Walking Dead show.
Or The Walking Dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're those have done their own endings.
Yeah.
Or I guess Walking Dead's not
Or your
over
own
yet.
pieces to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, take your own spin to it and just go. Like,
Just go with it.
writers should know these characters by now.
Nope.
So, and then I was reading the producer from Game of Thrones, one of them, /
Yeah.
writers, is moving to that Lord of the Rings show that Amazon's doing.
Cool.
Oh,
And I'm like,
okay.
oh, maybe he's one of their early writers. He wrote episode 2 of the season 8 or whatever, and Chris is just like, and I'm like,
No. Oh boy.
okie dokie.
Okie dokie smoky.
It's bad when you have Game of Thrones to the point where everybody's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
season 8, we finally figure out who takes the throne.
And then no.
And
And,
then it's like,
everybody's
everyone's
just,
It's
and
just
like
so
Chris said,
it's so underwhelming.
like Chris said, he's like, the person who took the throne, totally cool with. What happened to everybody else at the end, totally cool with. It's just,
There need more build up or...
yeah, that story getting up to that point was
I
just...
could care less still. So
And
I am-
I'm on what, season
Spoil
2
me.
or whatever, but
spoil away. I don't care.
yeah.
No, don't spoil away. I'm not
He's-
ready
he's
yet.
getting there.
Dragons, all the dragons are dead. And then dragon
The
transform.
Dragons Transformers. Yeah.
I don't know.
I know everybody was surprised.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Because I read articles.
I am like the Black Panther in this argument. I don't care.
So
I don't care.
you've read Weddinged?
Is Red
Oh
Wed-
yes. That
Which-
was like season
what's,
3.
What's the Red Wedding?
When a lot of people die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like red blood, because so many people die.
Isn't there like a purple wedding too or something?
Yes.
That's where,
That was season 4.
yes, that's where one person dies, specifically.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's a royal person that dies, thus purple.
I don't care.
The characters grow on you.
Don't
Like
care enough.
there's so many not transition, but like they kill off a character, so they introduce another one, and then
Yes.
you kind of like, yeah,
So the Game of Thrones? It's just a giant game of musical chairs, right?
No.
Just dances, and then you sit down, and then they take a chair away, and then you dance again, and then it's always just the last one, and then whoever stands and sits on it, becomes the ruler of the Iron Throne. That's how Game of Thrones should end.
Sure.
I
I think,
one person hitting the music button.
I think my problem was I didn't connect to most of the characters.
It took me a while to connect with the characters through season 1. Like season 1, I felt like I wasn't connecting.
I was
with
into season
anyone.
2 and I still
Weirdly
like
enough, the only person I connected with died.
Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Sean Bean.
Well, yeah, because you're supposed to.
Yeah,
connect
you're supposed to
with
connect
him.
with him.
Because I'm like, this guy's fucking cool.
And by season 2, like his youngest daughter,
Arya.
Arya, I liked following.
I like her.
all right.
Yeah.
But all the other characters, I'm like, you can all die.
Okay, R.R. Martin.
Well, no, but legitimately, I'm watching them going, I give no hoots about you. Die. Die and be replaced with someone I actually care about.
There's other characters you eventually develop, like, I like this person.
Even
Peter Dinklage's character.
I was gonna say
even
him. Like I like Peter Dinklage as an actor.
I felt bad for his character. I never liked his character.
I never.
Again, he could have. I didn't want him to die because I wanted him to prove, because he got put down by so many people.
Yeah.
I'm like,
was he supposed to sit on the throne?
No,
like,
never.
Has he
never.
Like he doesn't want to.
No, he doesn't.
Everybody wants to be in charge of things. It's just what you can actually attain. Like that's
Yeah.
not within his realm of possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, like they actually talked about in the last episode I just watched, where he actually talks about him saying like, yeah, I like the power of being the hand of the king, but I don't expect ever to have power ever in my life.
Yeah. So like he knows where his station can get him to, but everybody, it's like you'll never make it there because, you know, one, you're a small person, and two, like
you need to be above this line to ride.
Yeah,
the ride of being the king.
So yeah, I didn't want him to die mostly because I wanted him to like shove it in his dad's face that it's like, yeah, I can pull this stuff off too and all of that jazz. But I didn't really ever find him endearing.
He eventually does
become endearing.
No, he eventually
shoves it in
his
That's
dad's face.
Oh, good for him. Good for that character.
And like he's a good tactician and all of that
smart
jazz.
guy.
Because I got to the point where they were being bombarded from the sea.
Oh yeah.
And like they're going after the gate, and he's like, we'll sneak around and we'll flank them essentially, so they can get them from up top, and we can get them from there. And he pulls the whole Valiant Knight thing, almost dies, gets saved, and then they're sitting there going, you almost died.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
he
you?
Gets
and
zero
he's just
acknowledgement.
like, I saved everybody, you assholes, and
everyone just praised the king.
Right, so that's the piece where I'm like, I don't want him to die because he needs to show everybody that.
But he dies in season 8.
And
does he?
I don't know.
Tony knows nothing.
I don't know. Iron Man shows up.
But like,
it says, "I am Iron Man."
Joffrey.
I wanted him to die.
Right.
Yeah.
Sansa. No shit's given.
Kudos to.
Sansa is the oldest daughter who is going to marry Joffrey.
Okay. Yeah. Sansa sounds like a hand sanitizer.
The Phoenix.
She's the
Dark
one.
Phoenix.
Yeah, she's Dark Phoenix. That actress.
Okay. She sounds like that. The name sounds like a name for a hand cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. She like all.
Would you like our new Sansa brand? It sounds real disappointing.
Like at least the brothers, for the most part, are all like, we're fighting for our kingdom and our land, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with the throne.
Yeah.
Like we're fighting for family honor.
Yeah.
Sansa was like that teenage girl who's like, you guys never let me do anything, and as soon as I can, I'm leaving and going to marry my high school boyfriend.
Also,
and
he's Joffrey.
We're gonna live the best life ever. The boyfriend's a total dick.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, your boyfriend's a total dick, and she's like, no, he's not. We're gonna run away together and have the best life. And then lo and behold, they don't, because he's a dick. And you're like, Sansa, die.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't feel bad for her. Yeah. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Your other sister is conniving her way through like some pretty hard stuff at way younger in age and acting like a smart person. You're an idiot and can die.
Yeah.
Then other people do things, and I'm like, you can also die.
You could also die.
Everybody can just die.
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Season 5.
All men must die.
We're clearly not well equipped to make this discussion.
Everybody can just die, except Arya, because I like her.
Go, Peter Dinklage.
And then I'm also on.
Sansa gets better as the seasons go on. Thanks, Chris.
Not really. I still don't like her. I think she's an idiot.
I don't want someone that sounds like a hand sanitizer to be good.
Season 5, she's still an idiot.
The actress
I don't
is
like
good.
her. Yeah, that's the thing. The actors who make you hate them are just incredible because they do.
Maybe
such
I was
a
just
job.
say that—that's a sign of good acting.
Like
right?
it's a very good acting. Like
yes,
you'll get there.
That poor kid that plays Joffrey. I don't know if he's ever gonna get a job because people
doesn't
just
need
hate
one.
him.
He's got $8 billion.
He's got HBO money now.
He's got HBO. He's got Dragon money. Chris says he'll get there.
He'll get there.
He'll get there.
I'm also on season 5 of The Office.
Look at you go.
Yeah, it's not hard to watch Office. It's very good. It's very watchable. You very turn on and then just excellent.
You guys have seen Office.
Yeah.
I got to that one episode where Toby comes back after he left. And Michael, that's where the meme comes. I was like, where's this meme where Michael
please, God, no.
I was like, oh, that's where that meme comes from.
Have you never seen The Office?
No.
Oh, okay. This conversation makes a lot more sense.
Such an enjoyable ride.
Yeah, it's like it is my Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It is like I can do worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, God, please, God, no, please, God, no, no.
I'm glad Ryan got dethroned.
Yes.
Like Ryan was becoming douche.
Yes.
He's a writer for that show. He was
Yes.
very involved in that show.
He is.
That
Very-
BJ Novak was like, I'm like, I hate him. Why is he still on this show? Because
Oh,
again,
he's
he's
a
that
writer.
character that you absolutely can't stand.
Wolf.com.
In no fault to BJ Novak, because
No,
he plays
yeah,
the
he
character
plays it very
perfectly,
well.
but you're like, go away. And then you look at it, and he's like producer and writer, and the whole
Yeah.
like, I'm like, oh, you smart. Like you're
Wolf.com.
actually. Oh God.
Wolf.com. Have you gotten to that part yet?
No, I don't.
Okay,
think
you'll
so.
get to that part. It's fun.
Good old BJ Novak, who also does great children's books.
I'm getting a bit tired of the Jim and Pam relationship.
Yeah, like
Yes.
thing. Dance.
everything else gets much better. Everything,
Yeah.
everything around
Everyone
them
else is getting better.
Yes.
everything around them is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the, and I mean that was a TV trope that still goes on today. That it was the will they, won't they, will they, won't they.
Yes.
And it's
yeah.
like they should have just,
It's kind of like
Done one or
Ross
the other.
and Rachel. And,
yeah, they should have just done it way earlier than.
And
you
what's,
know.
what's their name in How I Met Your Mother? And
Oh.
yeah.
But How I Met Your Mother has a different.
Yeah,
there's a
How I
diff-
Met Your Mother was.
It's a different premise though. Like the execution was very different because it's all told through backstory.
Yes.
So
and
that's a very different.
with him and Robin, I feel like it was very much. For 3 seasons, they pulled that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and then it was now we're just friends and we're just
Yeah.
gonna stay friends.
Yeah.
And that's-
But then, like, it's that realization in that climax of How I Met Your Mother. It's
Yep.
like, we don't know much about Mom, but we really know much about this Robin kid.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
it's-
you've been telling us this story for 9 years now, or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
Mom was in it for this much of the
I
story.
know. That's what kind of disappoints me.
No,
Well, no,
it doesn't.
like I was expecting that, but not
no,
like.
it doesn't. I see.
not
I,
that he would
I
go back with Robin.
We can
I'm
make
of
this.
the camp that he always belonged with Robin, and
Yes.
it was just timing that kept them apart
Yes.
because she didn't want kids and she didn't want that.
And
Well,
it was
now
just perfect because she couldn't have kids, but
She
then
couldn't have kids.
and then he
has
had kids,
the kids.
and the kids love her, and it's just like
Oh,
it just makes sense.
So
from
it
that
was.
perspective.
It's the thing of at that point in their life they weren't meant to be together.
Then why call the show How I Met Your Mother?
Because it was all about how he met his mother.
He
or
did.
the-
They
the
did.
mother.
He met the mother.
I guess.
That's not wrong.
It just
That
felt like
people realize.
it
People
was
don't
all a
realize.
ruse.
It wasn't
people-
a ruse.
People don't realize how clever that last season of How I Met Your Mother.
I loved that last. season.
Unless.
Yes, I think we're on the same boat. It's like
I love
that.
that
That
last
last season. Yes,
How
it's
did he meet her again?
at a wedding.
At a wedding.
Right.
At a wedding.
Right.
And it was,
She was the-
and everything
she was
led
the
up to that one part at the train station, and everyone. It's
Yeah.
just like, I was like, God.
I guess
I know what
the
happened. and
title's
it's
like a
just-
double-
It's still sad, and
It
it's just
is.
like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
That's I guess the titles too, because Robin does become their mother too.
Also
That's
true.
not. That's not wrong.
Yeah.
That's not wrong.
That's not wrong.
I guess so.
I love that last season.
Yeah, it was good last season.
It was
Everyone
good.
still shits on over it, but I don't.
Well, because they shit at the ending. I don't shit at the ending.
No, they shit on the fact that it's like,
It was
oh,
a good series.
it's all
It
about
was a
this
great
one wedding
series.
that doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
Him and her and Barney.
Barney.
Yeah,
got married,
And I'm like, that's not the point of the story, guys.
No.
Yeah, and again, that relationship made sense at the time
Yes.
too, because again,
Yeah.
you have a guy who doesn't want kids.
You have a girl who doesn't want
And
kids.
who's changing to
And-
be a better person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
who
ultimate-
did? He
and does
ultimately
did.
becomes
Oh my
a
Better
better
gosh.
person.
Way
and
better
it's
person.
Like, it's like guys, this finale is way smarter than you realize.
Yeah.
because they had that planned. I think a really.
Oh yeah,
they
they had
wrote-
the
they wrote a
ending
lot of-
planned.
They wrote a lot of that already.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't know when they were ending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's that one show where they definitely have to go to the network, going, "If we're canceled, you have to tell us." Like,
Yeah, because we need to
tell
finish.
us, tell us the
this.
season we're done.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We're ready to.
yeah. Give us 2. Give us 8.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Just tell us how many we
Yeah.
have.
That's what I appreciated about that show is that it had an ending.
Yes.
Yes.
And they had
A lot
a
of
planned
shows don't.
ending. No.
A lot of shows nowadays don't.
Yeah.
Anyways. Then I
anyways.
also saw How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
Yeah, it's a good film.
It was a really good
Really
movie.
dark, not dark like story wise, but color wise.
Yeah.
Really dark.
But it was just
So-
such a good movie.
it was fun.
It
It
was,
was
a
fun.
great
I-
series ender.
I feel
Okay.
like
What's the third one?
the mother.
The third
The
one.
third
Yeah.
one is called The
All
Hidden
right.
World.
All right.
I feel like the mother character was shoehorned in a little much. Like she didn't.
Yeah,
do
she didn't really
She
do
didn't do anything at all. Even though they built her character up
Is this
in
what
the
Kate
second one.
Blanchett?
maybe. Sure.
She was in the second one, right?
Yeah, it's the same character, and she had a really important role in the second movie.
I don't remember these movies.
They're good movies.
I'm forced.
Honestly, I like these movies better than Shrek.
I'm not hard.
Some people say it's hard because
Not hard.
Shrek has a big fan base.
The first Shrek.
If you're 14,
the first
Shrek, because that appealed a lot to adults.
you're
a lot.
14.
No, the first Shrek's amazing.
But I do love how I love just how the aspect of
You tell me about Shrek. I don't.
like having a cat and a dog, or I had a dog.
Everything about Shrek that isn't Shrek is great.
No,
I
Shrek
like
is
everything.
great.
I like everything around that character.
I don't mind Shrek.
I like Michael Myers.
mind.
Michael Myers did a great job as Shrek.
It's supposed to be Chris Farley.
Doesn't matter.
But then, unfortunately,
He passed away.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Either way,
Either
How to
way,
Train Your Dragon
yeah.
3.
Yeah. I like how they
so good
they modeled the Night Furies around cats.
that they.
At least
Yes.
the Light Fury. I think
All
that's
of them.
Light
Are,
Fury.
all of them are. They're all modeled after
Some are
cats.
like dogs. Some are like dogs.
No. The directors have said.
They're all
Cats.
modeled after cats?
They are
That's
cats.
why I'm not a huge fan of these movies then.
No, cats aren't that bad.
Cats are pretty cool.
My cat is lovely. I love my cat.
Yeah, I had a cat.
Not to say I didn't love I love dogs and I love cats.
I loved my cat.
I can't say that about dogs yet. I don't have a dog yet.
I could go back. No, I don't need a cat in my life.
It really depends on the cat. I am
guess
more of a
so.
dog person. I think, but I might be like you, where once my baby Nala has passed on, I don't
Just
think I would get
dogs.
another cat. I think I would just stick with dogs. Anyways.
But yeah, the story was good. I love the ending. It
Yes.
explains a lot about dragons and why dragons don't hang around anymore.
It kind of explains our reality.
Yeah, I
of
was gonna say
dragons.
like it is very.
Maybe dragons do exist.
And that's
Of course they do.
And that is and that's what the filmmakers will get kids to think about.
Everybody knows dragons are real, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like real life.
Just like
Yeah, like it's a satisfying end to all
It
of
was
it.
very satisfying.
well, that's
Good
good.
movie. Good movie.
Yeah. And it's just fun watching Jay Baruchel
The Canadian comedian guy.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
It's just fun watching him grow up from that role because when he did that first movie, he was
pretty young.
Yeah, he was like 20 something or other.
What show was he on YTV that I always used to watch him on?
Jay Baruchel.
I remember that.
Fart
I-
jokes. and
yes.
the-
I keep forgetting his last. Yeah.
All
he's
I
good.
remember from that show was they had a segment because it was one of those like variety shows where things were happening in between, and
Yeah.
like he'd fart and go
Yeah.
notes of this, like it was like wine tasting, but they
Yeah.
were doing the fart jokes, and I'm like, yeah. So then when he's been in stuff, and I'm like, fart guy.
Fart guy.
But yeah, like, it's interesting watching him grow up with this role,
Yeah.
and to where he is now, because he's basically the same age as where Hiccup is at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Baruchel.
I keep forgetting. I keep pronouncing it Bechamel. Jay Bechamel.
I also learned that How to Train Your Dragon is the only like production that's each of a trilogy where each movie is with a different company. Like it's still with DreamWorks, but they were
Different animation.
different. Like this last one was Universal, and the one before that was Fox or something, and the one before that was something else.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
But it's on the internet. I don't.
That's
I
strange.
might have been wrong, but it's
I mean, I guess that makes.
He was on 4 episodes.
Warner's brother or something.
I guess makes sense though, because all three of them have a different vibe to it.
Yeah, very different vibe, but it was good.
Good film.
Played Dauntless, played Conan Exiles, and then I'm still playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm good. It's still a fun game. I still like.
I think that visually that game is
Yeah.
stunning.
I'm just so. I put it to ultra hard.
Okay.
Just because.
You enjoy killing it.
Yeah, he hates himself.
Yeah, you hate
I
yourself
enjoy a
enough.
challenge, and the challenges are great. It's really satisfying when I pull things off. But sometimes I get to things that are just beyond my, and I have to say, I can't do this right now. I need to come back to this.
At some point, it's like you are trying to solve the puzzle or solve the encounter.
Yes.
That's not in a way that's designed to solve that encounter.
It is.
I'm just gonna whistle here.
Everything's a puzzle.
Just whistle for the dinosaur. Shank.
No,
Whistle. Shank.
because there's some like bosses yet, like the first rock. What do they call them? The rock slider.
Sure. I don't remember.
Giant like digging mole thing.
Okay.
Gigantic.
I super don't remember.
And you have to fight them in combat. It's no stealth. You end up there. You like, oh,
dodge,
what's this rock
baby.
pile? Then all of a sudden this thing goes. You're like, great, this is gonna be like a half an hour fight, and I never make it to the half hour because I keep dying. So I just like, I'm gonna do this later. But yeah, you have to dodge a lot.
Dodge, baby.
Time down, shoot off components, do stuff.
I set up traps.
Lots of traps.
I like the trap. I like the.
I enjoyed playing that game, but I'm not sad I didn't finish it.
Me too. I enjoyed the visual aspect of it.
The visual, the world was nice.
Yeah. I think I like
gameplay.
I like the narrative, like the
beginning part of the narrative was good.
Some of when they have the conversations with people, it's terrible editing. It's so choppy. All the conversations are choppy.
I don't like the blank stares that the characters have.
Yes.
Yeah.
They all have blank stares. There's
blank
no
stares
emotions.
So Alloy was all right, but everyone else
Aloe?
was
Not Aloe. God, man.
Inside joke, I guess.
In Conan, we pick up Aloe.
I was calling it Alloy.
He was calling it Alloy.
That's terrible. Yeah, her animations were all right, but everyone else's was just so stoic and just lifeless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of modern games are fixing nowadays. I mean, just looking at the Death Stranding trailer.
Yeah.
Well, it's
and
just,
even Anthem, as bad as that game is, the facial expressions in Anthem are fantastic.
well, because you learn.
They did a good job at the graphics in Anthem.
You start to learn to.
You put dots on actors' faces and then you use their expressions.
That's part of it, and then the other piece too is don't go for full on photorealism for certain things.
Yeah.
Because again, that's where a lot of the if you think back to like LA Noire, they went for photorealism, and it turns out looking.
I liked it.
But it's off. It's still that like.
I think the game was ahead of its time.
It was like if it were done now, it would be. Better.
It has the technology to do it.
Yeah, because back then there was a lot of limits on the technology.
But again, you still had for something that was supposed to have emotive faces because that was half the game.
Yes.
half
of them weren't there.
And we didn't understand how many little micro muscles there are in cheeks to make certain expressions.
Well,
and again, like,
or we did, but we didn't have the technology to do it.
I would love to see that studio take another crack at a brand new LA. I know they don't exist anymore because Rockstar disbanded them.
Yeah,
but I'd love to see another LA Noire on current generation technology.
Yes, where you can actually see them twitch.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was the biggest piece of that game was it's like you're supposed to look out for this. There's like signals of them lying.
Yeah, like
and that's the thing. It's like it's a subtle tick where they're like watch for their tell, and I'm like,
no.
Can you repeat that? And they repeat it, and I'm like,
I didn't see it.
Can you? And
Can you repeat that again?
Then you start like focusing on different parts of their face, and I'm like, you're lying, because like all of a sudden they'd move, like their eye would like.
Or you would read it the wrong way.
Or I'd read it the wrong way because it's like they're lying and they look they look down and to the right and I'm like, oh, they're lying, and that just happened to be the game's time where it clocked in that they were gonna like randomly move their eyes. And
it's actually funny that you're talking about that because one of the Phoenix Wright games.
Yes.
And I know Chris is playing them right now.
Yeah.
I think it's Phoenix Wright. Oh, I'm gonna get it wrong. I think it's the fourth one.
Yeah.
Where you actually get to watch witnesses and take apart their testimonies, and as you're watching them talk, their facial expression changes.
Do specifically example.
But the thing is, in Phoenix Wright, it's a 2D animation, so you can get away with that.
Yeah.
But you can't. It's the more pixels you add, the more difficult it is.
Right.
Weirdly enough, the more pixels you add, the more difficult it is.
And I bet you the Elder Scrolls game is still gonna have almost like cardboard stand-up characters that look like they're dead inside. As they talk to you.
That's how you know how to fix that. Just have no NPCs.
Oh,
it's
that's
just a
why
lonely
Fallout
world.
didn't have. I get it. They were fixing the NPC problem.
They fixed the NPC problem by not having NPCs.
Oh gosh,
that's how you fix it.
But yeah, Horizon, I can see that and I kind of get Alloy with the distant stares and that kind of stuff.
She's not too bad.
But even if she has them, you're like, oh, she was raised as an exile. She's not really used to speaking with other people.
She has a social ineptness to her.
Right. So it's like if she's a little weird when she talks, it's like cool. But this guy who's traveling and talking to people all the time,
he should be well seasoned.
Yeah.
Talking with
he shouldn't look like he's like.
And then I walked over to the cliff.
Or the ones where it's like they're moving, they're visibly like talking, but their eyes are just like locked.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no one really talks to anyone like this.
Nobody.
So they're gonna look around.
Hey.
What are you doing after this?
They put the stabilizer on the wrong part of the camera.
And that's not even motion tracking.
That's not even, yeah.
That's not a motion tracking issue.
Yeah.
And then I got a new phone.
Hooray! Welcome.
So I'm playing Pokemon Go more now.
Welcome
Yay.
to the Pixel family.
Because I can actually use the fitness app
Yes.
and hatch eggs
Adventure
properly.
Sync. Adventure Sync.
Adventure Sync. Google Fit.
Adventure Sync, yeah.
Adventure Sync.
But then
Pokemon Go.
for some reason my Fossil watch isn't working anymore now, and I was going to talk to you about that.
Oh, did you bring the watch?
No, I didn't.
Well, we can't help you.
Well, I can tell you what's happening. It's not that it doesn't look visibly broken or something. It's
Well, no, but if it's a connecting issue, then
no, it's not that. It's I think it's a hardware or software.
It was update it.
Once it was updated, when you charge it, it
Yeah.
doesn't charge. The light's still on the USB. It just heats up like a mother trucker, and it like loops into rebooting and restarting.
And then let it die.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing right now.
'Kay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I had mine.
There's a guy who posted the same problem on Reddit the exact same day I had it.
Yeah.
And no one's responded to it. Well, I haven't checked since, but happened on May 28th.
Like mine, the one time, and I'm pretty sure it's because I dropped it, but all of a sudden I couldn't hit the bottom, like,
Oh, your digitizers got messed up?
third of the screen. And I'm like, oh no, because like if I slide down on mine, there's the button that I can like turn it into theater mode. And I was having the hardest time turning it into theater mode, and then I'm like, okay, I'll just reset the watch. Well, settings is the last option,
Oh, you can't touch
you
it.
can't touch it.
and I couldn't touch it, and I'm like,
Ruh-roh.
well, crud. So I let the watch die and restarted it, and it booted back in. So it's just sometimes tech just needs
It's
night
mind reset,
time.
Yeah. Experience that at work all the time.
Yeah.
Get a pedal.
You tried turning it on and off again.
Get a pedal.
Does that even exist anymore?
No. I'm a dying breed. I like my pebble. Shut up. How
That's
often,
all
do you
I've
have,
done.
how often do you have to charge your watch?
I caught a lot of Snorlaxes.
See, I see none.
See, it's just you. It must just be you.
Well, it stopped. I had it for the first 2 days, and then I never saw Snorlaxes again.
Okay. Well, it's on until I think next week.
That's a lie.
What?
That Snorlaxes are still on.
It's actually
Because now I'm like you, where there's no Snorlaxes
I've
popping up.
seen no Snorlax.
I also actually haven't tried looking, but I just caught a couple and I was like, yep, that's it. He's sleeping.
No Snorlaxes. Coaching messages.
Cool.
There you go.
Well, I was going to ask, the Snorlax thing is in conjunction with the Pokemon
It is
Sleep, right?
100% in conjunction with the Pokemon Sleep.
Yes.
I think I
the
can put
announcements
two
were
together.
connected. Yeah.
Yeah, it is 100% the same. Let me see here. Watch as the Snorlax spawn.
That'd be hilarious.
News. Snorlax.
It's supposed to be
Until
till June 3rd
3rd.
or something.
June 3rd, so Monday.
It's not happening. And I work at the hospital, so there's a lot of Pokestops in action, and there's like no Snorlaxes in there
There you go.
anymore. It's like I caught them all.
No.
There we go. Either
That's
who.
We got stuff happening. I'll talk about it next week. I'm not ready to talk about it right now.
All right.
Because it's a little complicated.
Alrighty then. With that, everybody, thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys next week
Yes.
for another exciting episode.
New post-credit show. Check out
post-credit.
barrelrollnews.com.
We'll find all the information. Subscribe, share, link our stuff to everyone. Share.
Send us your love.
Don't too much love. Just regular amounts of love, please.
All of it. I want all of it.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.